I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels
in stock today. Well, the wait continues on LeBron James and where he'll play next season. Chris Haynes on Amazon Prime last night with the latest.
I talked to LeBron James' agent, Rich Paul, and he said LeBron James has all the information needed. So now it's all up to LeBron James to make his decision. So as of right now, he is in deliberation phase.
Cavaliers among several teams in the mix. James expected to appear at Fanatics Fest in New York Thursday and Friday. That includes doing a live recording of his podcast, Mind the Game, Thursday afternoon. Cavaliers Vegas Summer League play last night, beat up on Miami 90-73. Rookie guard Malik Thomas, game high 35 points. Cavs pick up their first win in Vegas. Thomas shot 14 of 23 from the floor, including 5 of 9 from three-point range. The Cavs off tonight. They'll continue Summer League play tomorrow afternoon when they take on the Pelicans. St. Louis Cardinals outfielder Jordan Walker topping Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies 12-11 in the final round and wins this year's Home Run Derby. Walker becomes the first Cardinal ever to win the event. Walker wins $1 million for the Derby victory, which is more than his 2026 salary of just under $800,000. Major League Baseball's All-Star Game, it's time in Philadelphia. The American League taking on the National League. The Guardians will have 3 All-Stars, each making their first appearance at the Midsummer Classic. Parker Messick, who's 8-5, a 2.73 ERA. Kate Smith, who leads the majors with 28 saves, and second baseman Travis Bazzana on the AL roster. Can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next time for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
Get the latest Cavs news, the afternoon drive. Weekdays starting at 2. Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
Is that enough? Jordan Walker! Come on, baby! It means everything. I mean, as much as they sacrificed for me, honestly. I mean, I got 2 other siblings, and they both had things to do. My brother's in film and art, and my sister did volleyball. So it wasn't easy for them. But they figured out a way to get me to, all my lessons, all my games, and I wouldn't be here without them.
I mean, I got what I want. He, on the biggest stage, showed that he handles the and excels. That just makes me proud.
This is Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Audio courtesy of Netflix. Hello.
Netflix, that's right.
That's interesting.
It's so funny?
I turned to 8 and I went, where is it? I went, oh, that's right.
Wait a second. You know what's so crazy about that is yesterday we were
Which
like...
it wasn't even on 8 for years. It was on ESPN.
I feel like it's been on ESPN for 20
Who
years.
is going to know it's on Netflix? And it was my wife, as she was getting ready at 7:45, she had pulled up Netflix. We actually got the kids to bed at a reasonable time for once. And she goes, oh, you're probably going to watch the Home Run Derby tonight. And I'm like, how do you know about the Home Run Derby? She goes, Netflix. It was on the splash page.
I would say that I knew more about it this year than I've known in previous years because it's been in my face on the front page of Netflix.
Think how crazy that is.
And even on my Fire TV, on the little banners, it says Netflix. Right?
I never saw once the Home Run Derby on my Netflix. Not once.
Are you not making it to the front page that asks you what accounts you want? Do you not have that?
I mean, I usually just go right to the Trailer Park Boys page, but I went to the homepage. I know I've been on the homepage in the last 72 hours, and it was not there.
Well, then you've clearly went out of your way to make sure you don't see about the home.
That's not true at all. That's not
what it's got to be because Sarah Ono knew about it.
Which is odd to me because isn't it supposed to be based on your interest? I mean, big text fall on us all. So
yeah, and I would even say I don't watch a lot of the sports documentaries. I don't really pull up
what the hell
any of the Netflix sports stuff.
I do watch them.
Even the quarterback thing that petered out quickly. I've barely watched that.
Yeah, you know what? I got to be honest with you.
I
made
watched
about
like 2 episodes of the first one.
Oh, really? I got through the first one, and then the second day,
Once Kirk Cousins started playing football in the living room with his kids, I was like, okay, cool. I got this at my own house.
Yeah, it is kind of like, whatever. But why didn't it show up on my homepage? Splash page, whatever you call it. Because I watch all the
Splasharoonie.
I watched the last one I just watched was the Vinnie Jones one, the guy who's in all the Guy Ritchie movies. Who I did not know until I watched The Untold that he was a English footballer. I had zero clue. I thought he was an actor. I had no idea. So that was good, and it was a very good documentary. And the one I saw before that was the Jailblazers because I loved the Jailblazers as a kid. This is amazing.
So it is interesting because it's like if it were on one of the affiliates and network TV, there would have been, like you said, if it was on Fox 8, they would have come out of sports and said, big graphic.
Here it is.
Hey, don't forget, we'll have full team coverage. And they'll send a reporter sometimes, or at least back in the day they would. And so that's so interesting that I might have missed it if it were on the local news because I haven't been able to watch as much. But because she saw it on Netflix, but either way, I do wonder what that meant for the event in general.
What it does,
because everybody has Netflix. More people have Netflix and cable.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who ended up seeing it. I'm sure the numbers will be crazy. And you say what you say about fudging the numbers. Who the hell knows? But what I do think, and I do think that teams are looking, the teams that play a lot of games, baseball, basketball, hockey, I do think they're looking at this going, it is harder to find the games, and if the teams aren't that great, it makes it less likely you're going to go root hogging for it. Like if it's just there, like what made the Guardians are good, so it's made it easier to go looking for it, and plus it's still on like I hit 306 and there it is on 306. But there is something to be said for just being able to hit a channel number and popping it in. And it's easier to watch and take in the product, even when the team's great, that's easy to do. When the team's not so great, that's hard to do. And I think it makes it a little bit easier when it's just easy to find. It's something that's just muscle memory from any of the things that you've ever done. But if I got to go looking all over, like I will tell you, I do think that part of the Cavs malaise is that on any given night, it was on Peacock, it was on Prime, it was on FanDuel, it was on Disney Plus, like ESPN / Disney Plus, Tubi. Like there was like 4 or 5 different things that you had to go find. And I want to hear about the NFL. NFL's a once a week thing for your team. It's just they're in a different category. Yeah. It's totally separate from the other ones. But I do think what upsets the other 3 major sports in this country is that you kind of got to go looking all over the place. I told you, do I like F1? Yes. I barely watched anything since it's been on Apple TV. I got all these things here, and I got to go looking all over and clicking all over. I'm sorry. You could say what you want to about me, and I'm sure there's a lot of people making fun. Easy use is easy use. And if it's not front and center of mind, if it wasn't where I wasn't a big Cavs fan and I wasn't a big Guardians fan, I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to go looking for it. It's just that simple. So if it's like F1, I like F1. I'm not obsessed with F1, so I'm just going to, if it passes, it passes. And if I happen to see it on social media, I'll look on social media. If not, or I'll go look it up. If not, ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So, Either way, that I'm off my soapbox now because I know that there's been people complaining about where to find them and things like that, and then there's going, well, all you have to do. I go, I don't need to be talked down to. I just make it easier for me to find it. Make it easy.
Now they tinkered once again, like for the 8th straight year with the format, or what? Because I can't exactly tell you that I
Couldn't
remember.
tell you, I just know there's no clock again.
Yeah.
And you got an amount of swings, so you could take pitches this year.
Yes. I don't like the format. I don't like the new format.
Well,
I like
my
the old
son
format.
noticed it. He was like, "They're not timing it." And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know, dude."
I like the time. Go up there and take hell hacks.
Yeah.
Type of format.
It does make it good too. Where like, so Bryce Harper was on the verge of either he was going to be eliminated or Schwarber was going to be eliminated, and either way, Philly wins, Philly loses that way. But so his last swing, I think he took 2 or 3, and then he took a pitch and didn't get it out.
Yes.
Would have been much better had it been a countdown and all that, and it counted for a little more. But
something else. But
yeah, when they have to be selective like this, it adds a little more pressure, I think, because he struggled out of the gates. And the one cool thing about the home run derby is I always thought this event takes way too long. Baseball needs to find a way to cram a few different things into this showcase night. Mm-hmm. Like if there was ever a way, not that, look, let's be honest, the skills competition in the NBA is so bad too, and they've tried to do 1,000 different things, and obviously we've written the obituary on the dunk contest, and even the 3-point shootout doesn't seem to carry the weight that it did when I was younger, when it was such a big deal. That's just the way things go. I think in sports, we barely even care about actual games, so why would we care about these exhibitions? But I wish baseball had something else that they could also do, because the home run derby shouldn't last 3 hours.
I told you what they can do. I don't think you like it because you don't like the thing anyway. I think they need to mix in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft in with the All-Star game. I don't know how you time it up and everything like that because it's a draft, for crying out loud. I don't know if you have – the players aren't going to want that because they're going to want the All-Stars are going to want 2 consecutive days off. But if I were thinking about it, like, okay, either home run derby on Monday, MLB draft Tuesday, first round of the MLB draft Tuesday, all the people are in the stadium, or some sort of a lead up somewhere in there. Like, how do I put it with the All-Star game festivities?
You said it on the phone. I did. I was blowing it off.
You didn't like it.
It wasn't that I
dumped on it.
It was that I was dumping on the draft in general, on how I think baseball, just it's just a totally different sport than the others. That I can't stand the fact that they've taken a reason to really watch college baseball out of it, because I'm not investing in a player that I'm not going to see for 3 or 4 years.
Well, but I
know they're getting that more and more guys are readier earlier.
I don't even know if they're ready, but they're pushing them up earlier.
Yeah, they are doing that, thank goodness. But I would just always use maybe it's a terrible example, but can you imagine if the Cavs drafted LeBron James, we went nuts, and then we didn't see him for 3 years? Like, how insane.
It'd be ridiculous.
And the guys can play. Like, the guys are pretty clearly able in baseball to play earlier than ever before.
I do think there is a tremendous difference in just the pitching you see in Major League Baseball compared to basically anywhere else. Now,
sure,
I understand that guys go up and go down, and so it kind of gets mixed in there. But we go back to Connor Griffin was a huge deal to the guys over in the afternoons in Pittsburgh, and I think to that fan base, he was a big deal. I mean, the guy's like 19 years old, for crying out loud. Like, he got pushed basically right to the majors. I think you'll see more and more of that. Especially, gosh, I wonder if they were able to get a cap and a floor, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Now, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here, but I think that if you had a cap and a floor, you probably see more guys get pushed to the top. Because to me, it's just like the NFL rookie salary cap or rookie wage scale. It's going, well, we'll just get rid of the veterans, we'll push up the pups, and that'll be the end of it.
Well, and your teams are better. You have a better shot when you have guys on the very super suppressed wages that can play instantly. Like in the NFL, it is a huge coup to have a bunch of the young guys that are also good and playing rather than plucking free agents and paying the highest price.
And it's exciting. You think about it. We play the lottery every single year in the NFL, and your odds are, when it comes to the Browns, like, in the last 27 years, it's been a bit of a not so great. But when you get a great one, you get a great one, and we love that, and that's what's fun about it. I think when it comes to Major League Draft, Yeah, it does take a while. They kind of go away. They're not as well known. I mean, you got international stars, you got high school kids. Yes, Owen, what were you going to say?
Go ahead, finish.
Sorry. You got international stars, you got high school kids or international players. I don't know if they're stars as much. I mean, unless they're pros, they're coming from those pro leagues. And then you have college baseball, which, happens at a weird time of year, happens in different places. I don't know if it has the exposure that some of the other ones do. I do think that ESPN's coverage has been pretty good of college baseball.
Maybe Kenny, it would be cool if they do like the top 5 or top 10. That would really set that aside right in front of all the All-Stars. I think that would be pretty cool, actually.
I'd like to do a first round and get people in a green room and have just put it out there in the field, put the desks out there in the field, make it work, whatever. You have a lot of money. Make it work. Have people there. I wish I could say have the tense issues of like a guy being there and he's falling. It's just I know saying that it's not the same. A big college baseball star, unless you are a certain name here and there every other year or every handful of years, it doesn't have the same feeling as Aaron Rodgers falling in the draft, or I have to admit Johnny Manziel falling, or Shador falling in the draft. I mean, you're talking about big
you're
stars.
Not watching those guys every week.
No, you're not.
In the South, there's more of an investment.
SEC teams.
That is true. But
they do care about it a lot more down there.
But I think that they would look at it and go, well, we got to make sure it's because it's not just the SEC that loves college football. It's everybody who loves college football. Mm-hmm. And I got to make it marketable to everybody.
I'm talking baseball, though. College baseball, SEC.
I understand that. But what I'm saying about baseball is that you got to make it marketable to the entire country, because I know the SEC loves college baseball, but
if we
can
make it not be freezing cold until April here, that would help.
Well, we're working on that. If we could just build a dome for baseball.
You guys bring up a good point about the young guys. Maybe they're ready for the majors earlier than we think. Sometimes the young guys aren't always ready for the big show. Sometimes we send our young guys back home to Philadelphia. Sometimes they're named John Tortellini, or I still don't really know his last name, but he got to go to the All-Star festivities yesterday. He got to talk to the Guardians and all those guys. I don't know if John's ready or not. Here you go. He's talking to Travis Bazzana right here.
It's been like a whirlwind year for you. You started the year in the minors. Before that, you were in the WBC. Like, if you could, what would you tell? Did you think? If I told you at the beginning of the WBC that you were going to be an All-Star, what would you have said?
Would you like to hear Travis's answer?
Yes, I kind of want to hear more of the questions.
Once we get cut about 4 seconds of the pause there, going, what is he saying?
We asked about 3 of them there at one time.
He was probably going to want to know about. Slow down, kid.
I would have said it's possible, but I got a lot of things to do before that can happen. Like make it to the big leagues, at least start off in Columbus and have success. So it kind of seemed far-fetched, but I would have internally believed that it was possible, I guess.
I was kind of waiting for him to fire back and say, yeah, where are you working your way up until you get to the big time?
Oh my God. Well, he had to get into the interview some way.
Hey, he got credentialed. I give him credit. He was all about it, going home, back to the tree farm, getting credentialed.
See, if you could, what would you tell? Did you think? If I told you at the beginning of the WBC that you were going to be an All-Star, what would you have said?
What if I told you?
John, man, this is a deep question.
I love that he did it.
He did a really good job, though, for a guy that's, he hasn't even got to do that here, really. And now he's at the All-Star game doing it in his hometown. I'm sure being there in that stadium was a big moment for him as well.
And he's wearing the full cotton Dockers.
Yes, he is.
We got the photo because we saw on Instagram. I finally accepted his Instagram bid.
Wow.
Remember when he applied?
I never got one of those.
When he applied for the job, and we talked about this very early on in his radio career here in Cleveland, he added all of us to social media like crazy. And
we were like,
I don't know you. I don't even know if you'll be here in 2 weeks. But finally I looked. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I accepted because I got to see him. And
what does he have in his right pocket?
3 baseballs? I don't know.
Is that a loaf of bread? What is in his right pocket in this picture?
Is that his mitt?
If you could, what would you tell? Did you think? If I told you at the beginning of the WBC that you were going to be an All-Star, what would you have said?
What a good kid!
I'm excited for him.
Here's why I feel disappointed in the 3 of us. For John left, I was pretty stern with John about, hey, guests. We need guests, John. What's your thoughts on the guests, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have a guest. He's in Philly
I know,
right now.
I didn't even think. But he's not going to do that because I guarantee he might have thought it, but he knows he's like, oh, God,
he's
they're
gotten
going to.
smarter. He's wised up to what's going on.
He knows that there's a situation for ball busting, and we're always going to take advantage of it.
No, we wouldn't do that.
And now,
if you could, what would you tell? Did you think? If I told you at the beginning of WBC that you were going to be an all-star, what would you have said?
now we have to wake him up and like actually conduct an interview with him. I know he's going to be on Do Not Disturb till what, 7, I bet?
Oh,
like he was yesterday?
I broke through before 7 yesterday.
Well, let's get his ass on the air.
Yeah,
Figure out which Miami guy we were having on.
What time did he get home? Right. What time did he get home from the home run derby?
That's a good point.
Probably 1. He don't wake up.
If you could, what would you tell? Did you think? If I told you?
He don't wake up easy, regardless. Let alone when he's going out and doing this and having his fun.
How do you know that already, Kenny?
Well, he admitted it on the air. I don't need to say anything about it. He put his own business out there. It's another thing. He's not good at keeping secrets, that one. All right, we'll try to run down John because he talked to Travis Bazzana and Cade Smith.
Yeah, and Parker Messick.
And Parker Messick.
Got them all?
Yeah. He got the big 3.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Good for that kid. All right, I didn't see Messick. I'm sure the other one. I'm sure they're all on social media. 923thefan.com.
Jeff had him this morning in the 5 o'clock show.
Free Odyssey app, Twitter, the whole thing. Go ahead and see it. He interviewed all 3. Outstanding work by John, or Little Johnny, as as Jeff calls him. Talk about that nickname at some point. Okay. Mike Cielski, he's going to join us from Philadelphia coming up at 8:20. Talk about the 76ers mood about LeBron James and everything else. And Lima knows, by the way, when LeBron's making his decision. He'll tell you when, coming up in 5 on The Fan.
Can't listen to us live? We've got you covered. You can hear the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima, Baskin and Phelps, an afternoon drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin as a podcast. Full hours, full shows. Find it all on the Odyssey app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere you get your podcasts.
So I dropped a little Easter egg in there if you were listening towards the very end of the segment. And now we get to have Lima tell us because, well, Lima knows when the decision is going to be made.
Well, I think I know.
Oh, for the love of God.
I hope to know. Obviously, we were hoping this thing would be wrapped up, 2 weeks ago.
Were you?
But for the sake of content, for what we do for a living, I think it's been fun. See? But I do think we've gotten to the point where you're starting to get the eye rolls. Look, the people that don't like LeBron James, if
he had already made his decision, I wouldn't be able to bring on Mike Sealski today.
Today from
we got to bring him on.
Philadelphia.
8:20. Friend of the show.
So
looking forward to Mike.
Do you think, Kenny, with this Fanatics, the Fan Fest thing that is going on, where it is star-studded affair, they've got the biggest names from every sport that come on in. Like, how do they pay all these guys? But he's coming on in, and he's not there just once, but he's there on 2 separate occasions that he is going to be there. And once he's doing the Rich Paul podcast, but not, according to this, not with Rich Paul. He's doing it with Tyrese Halliburton.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he makes the announcement in one of those 2? The other one is he's doing more of a business thing with Maverick Carter. Do you think he will have, A, made the choice before then and then has one of those platforms to talk about it? B, announcing it during one of those 2 opportunities? Or
I would
C,
find it very cheap for
or
B.
C,
Didn't even wait for the answer.
Or C, set it up for a giant tease, where there will be a massive unveiling that, of course, LeBron James is known for because he's had 2 of the biggest unveilings ever in the history of sports.
Well, how long is he going to be up there on the dais talking? He says a 2-day event. 2-day event. So how long is he going to be up there talking?
I imagine typically those types of junkets are like an hour.
The more you talk, the less likely it is you keep a secret. That's the whole thing. So that's the only thing that people want to know about. So if he's up there going, I'll show you guys all tomorrow on like a Thursday, and then he's up there for another 58 minutes, it's like, okay, good luck keeping that a lid on it because you're going to probably fall into a bit of a trap. It's going to be hard or annoying for everybody involved if you keep having to talk about it, because you're going to be asked that constantly. Unless there's going to be a moderator up there who will probably draw some people away from that question and then move on to other basketball things. But it's a thing that's on the top of everybody's mind. Yes.
Do you think the return to Cleveland was a big unveiling?
I think so.
Wait, the Lee Jenkins?
Yeah. I mean, I remember there was supposed to be a website that kept crashing that we were all checking every 5 minutes, right? For 3 days probably beforehand.
Yeah, no, Owen's right, because I keep thinking about
the Lee Jenkins piece was big and it's great, right? But it wasn't like the Boys and Girls Club when we knew tune in at this time.
The story came, he's right, because the story came out.
It's one of the most memorable unveilings of any free agent.
Yeah, it's memorable, and it's memorable mainly for you because you were the guy that broke it, right? Like you got to say it on the air.
Owen's right. Honestly,
but that wasn't an unveiling?
It's an unveiling, but it's muted compared to what he did in 2010.
How are you saying it was muted? It's everybody remembers where they were
compared to 2010. And
sure,
also,
so they're
I think
2 of the biggest of any free agents.
I think the entire world knows where they were in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the entire world knew where they were in 2014. Every Cavs fan knew where they were.
Fans know.
In okay, that's 2 fan bases, but he changed basketball forever in 2010. Mm-hmm. See, there's a bit of a difference there. And when you really break it down to going on national television and making your decision in prime time,
both of
as
those
opposed to putting an article out. No, it's not. It doesn't compare to 2010. You're remembering all the people coming downtown just kind of looking for something to do because they wanted to celebrate LeBron. And then the whole thing at InfoCision Stadium afterwards and all the other party that came after it. But the decision itself, Owen is right, was I'm coming home. Here's my picture.
Yeah,
and then everything else took off.
I think anybody
It was in the morning. It was midday.
It was like noon. I did the morning show that morning with Kylie and Booms and went home thinking, okay, we got nothing going on here.
And the follow-up stories surrounding it and the 24/7 coverage.
I think somebody's a little close to it because they broke the story on the air, and you're making that moment. That moment was big. The article itself was just like, boop, there it is. And everybody else went nuts.
Although I do agree he's not doing it on this live Fanatics thing. Like, there's no way that
So
happened.
what is he going to talk about during those 2 days?
Yeah.
If it's
That's
unsettled, he's not going to be able.
I have many questions.
He is not a PR. He's a savvy but he's not a PR professional. There's no chance.
Well, but he has PR professionals up there that will probably steer the conversation.
There is no chance, especially with the way that, like, if this thing's been weighing on him the way it is, and like we apparently have Chris Haynes.
Yeah, so I wanted to get to this. I think it makes it'll help maybe shed some light on this question that you have. This is Chris Haynes last night on Amazon Prime during the Summer League stuff. Here's what he says he has heard about LeBron and his decision.
I talked to LeBron James' agent, Rich Paul, and he said LeBron James has all the information needed. So now it's all up to LeBron James to make his decision. So as of right now, he is in deliberation phase. And so we can expect, well, we hope to expect, I should say, that he will make a decision at some point soon. But definitely the Miami Heat, Cleveland Cavaliers, they're in the mix, along with the Golden State Warriors, Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Philadelphia 76ers.
So everybody we've always been talking about is still in the mix.
Wait, we can't send any more? No executives can send any more voice texts? Voice messages?
They've shut it down.
We can't? There were none in the 11th hour or 4 in the morning?
Well,
couple drinks at the bar?
You can't do anything with that? Come on now.
It's not like he has a coming-in hotline that they could just go click on an app for LeBron and leave him 30 seconds.
What would be your pitch then?
Well, I mean, the whole thing is
if you were going to leave it coming in hot on the free Odyssey app.
If you truly wanted LeBron James, yeah, we should invite people to. We haven't done that in a while. We'll create some more work for everybody here.
But
do
that.
That would be fun. But it is kind of funny. Like, yeah, did Chris Haynes have any? He just basically said it's been shut off. Guys, LeBron has known for how long? How long do you think he's known?
The whole time.
Where he was going.
Probably since before the season ended.
Well, I think he was open. I think if somebody was able to, plot out an entire runway that made the most sense for him for everything he wants. Like the things that he is chasing. Yeah. Would he have liked to sign a max deal with the Lakers? Yeah, but that was not available to him.
Certainly.
Okay, what about the teammates that he would play with? What about the city that he would have to live in? We forget about this all the time because athletes, now even in high school, they switch academies and just move across the country. But LeBron James at this stage of his life, we've had some fun talking about all the golf, the golfing opportunities he would have. The reality is he has to go live somewhere. Does it sound like LeBron's ready to pack up and move to Philly?
No. Or Minnesota, for that matter. It doesn't seem like it. No.
And no. Would he want Cleveland in a million years if he wasn't from here and hadn't won a championship here and had 2 stints here?
Well, he's from here. That's
Cleveland would not be on the list. I think.
And when he retires, we're going to be going after Darren Peterson.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that where his living situation probably is going to matter. And if you add up everything together, it's to me. I don't know if you feel the same way, Ken. It's harder and harder after the week and a half with his former teammates reminiscing about the championship. Then it comes to his reuniting with his high school buddies that he played with and became famous with. And we've had this rags to riches story for him and for Maverick and for Rich Paul. And then Brandon Weems was there. Where's Brandon Weems now? Oh, he's with the Cavs. Romeo Travis is now helping the Cavs. And Brandon Weems has a chance to become the GM. Now he's going to go do this pit stop in New York to do a couple of podcasts. And all the rumors, of course, here in Northeast Ohio.
It's at the end of the week. Thursday's a dead day in sports. Like today's the All-Star game. Wednesday, Thursday are the 2 dead days in sports. Makes sense.
We're waiting on the James Harden contract. Renegotiating and finagling to do what? To allow for them to actually sign a LeBron James, maybe a sign and trade to make sure that you are bringing reinforcements that make sense on the floor. Kenny, I will be stunned at this point if it's not LeBron to Cleveland.
Real quick,
I will be stunned.
Give me 20 seconds. Can I ask a real proprietary question here? Does he have an ownership stake at all in Fanatics? Any sort of a thing?
Other than whatever contract he might have with them.
Yeah, what I'm saying,
does he have equity?
Not just a speaking engagement, because it would make sense if you had a piece of it. You're like, all right, I'll announce it on Thursday, and then we can do a big interview, why, and all that stuff on Friday.
When you go to look at the people that are going to be there, it's 4 pages of everyone you've ever thought of in football or wrestling. I mean, Joe Hayden's got.
Lima's right.
There is just so many people.
He's doing it at that fan fest because he's going to upstage everybody. There's no doubt about it. He's going to upstage every major star there and show everybody why he is who he is one last time before it's all said and done. Because this is the last decision that anybody's going to care about that he makes. Coming up at 8:20, Mike Sealski going to join us on the show. Are we underrating Philadelphia as a destination? And we are out to John as he was covering the All-Star festivities yesterday at the Home Run Derby. He talked to Travis Bazzano. We'll play more of that coming up later on. And the exact thing we were worried about with the Cavs and now the Guardians. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on the Fan. Northeast Factory Direct. There's nothing to be worried about when you go over there. Go to Northeast Factory Direct.
have Insuranoia. You should have NJM Insurance. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders.
LeBron watches on.
And this fall, I'm going to take my talents to...
Could he make another return to Cleveland? We are the place for all the latest NBA news and rumors. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
About last night, 7:45 home run derby. I did not like the new format, but it's kind of like the old format, which is kind of like the old TV show on classic sports.
They'll just change it again next year.
Which I don't like that either. I don't like. I'm a NASCAR fan, and what they've done with the All-Star race is appalling. Speaking of appalling, Nick Wilson used that word. A lot of operative words today. You'll find out more coming up at 7 o'clock. Nick Wilson used that word to describe Jonathan Peterlin's thoughts on the way the rest of Major League Baseball sees the Guardians.
If we're going to actually have this team win a postseason series or even have a deep postseason run, you're going to have to do better than 24th in slugging.
I mean, they haven't been doing better than 24th in slugging, and they've won postseason series the last couple of years.
Yeah, but this is why no one takes them seriously. This is like there's a difference. There's a difference between between winning postseason series and then people acting like there's a juggernaut that's waiting to pounce. And this team is not a juggernaut waiting to pounce right now.
It depends on what you qualify as why people don't take them seriously.
I think the pitching is really good. I love the starting pitching at certain points, by the way. There's parts of the bullpen I enjoy. I think the offense is just too awful right now.
I'm ready to lock it in.
What exactly are you going to lock in?
I'm ready to lock it in because I understand. Listen, I'm not here to say that you're wrong. The first 90 to 92, what are there, 95?
97,
games?
I think is what we're at now. 97 games.
The offense has not been consistently good. We are in agreement here.
Okay.
What I'm looking at is the upside of this offense with a healthy Hosey, Quan hitting, Bazana continuing to. It's going to be an ebb and flow. He's a rookie, but Bazana continuing to actually be playable. Rocchio being really good, and DeLauder really being a good player as well. I will tell you, by the end of the regular season, I expect them in most, not all, most major categories to be top 20.
He said he was appalled by what Jonathan had said about nobody taking the Guardians seriously.
Man, they would have to go on a tear right now. Just to update the numbers, right now they are 29th in on-base plus slugging. In slugging, they're 30th, so they're dead last. They're 23rd in on-base percentage because they do draw walks. But for them to go from 29th, 30th to 20, Jose Ramirez have to be the best player in baseball.
Yeah, I would love some clarification from Nick on, so there's 65 games left. Does he mean top 20 over the final 65, or does he mean they're going to pull it up?
Yeah, I think it's
It's got to be top 20 over the final 65 because statistically it doesn't look possible.
It's impossible.
You can, had they only been 40 games into the season, yeah, maybe, but you're over.
You'd have to have some of the players from the other teams go up to bat without arms to be able to get up to 20.
It, honestly.
After that many games. So, leave names and news out of it, please.
All right, so what's interesting
in hot at 9:45 on Friday.
What's interesting about their discussion, it's kind of a role reversal in a lot of ways. Like Nick during the Cavs season, and the Cavs, every number I threw out there, the Cavs were considered a contender to get to the NBA Finals. Now we know what happened. We know in the end, Nick ended up being right. They had no shot to get to the NBA Finals because they got
swept. There's only one champion, so I guess it was kind of easy to end up being right.
There's only 4 teams that get to the NBA, Eastern and Western Conference Finals, but he had zero faith. Like, he dogged the Cavs the entire last 30 games, even though the Cavs were one of the better teams in the NBA the last 30 games of the regular season, and then ended up ultimately in the Final Four. And his whole point was nobody takes the Cavs seriously. Now, Jonathan says that about the Guardians. Nobody takes them seriously in the playoffs because how do you make a run when your offense is one of the worst in baseball? And yeah, they're getting reinforcements. Jose Ramirez is obviously going to be relied upon to be big. But even with Jose, does the rest of baseball take them seriously to the way that maybe Nick is hoping that they will? So I think it's interesting, and I think it's unfortunate that, we could say this every year with the Guardians. We could say, on paper, put them next to the Yankees, put them next to the Dodgers, and we're never going to be taken all that seriously. But that's not going to change my hope that when we get in the playoffs, there can be some magical run.
I think it's hard to admit this because I do have a great deal of respect for their organization, and I know you do too. One, I think you're right. I hate to turn this into a great big agreement fest. I think your diagnosis of that is dead on. I mean, Nick, there was nothing the Cavs could do last year to seem to bring Nick across the aisle. When it comes to the Guardians, I don't think that Jonathan is that inflexible, but I also think that Jonathan, I have to admit he has a point. I don't think the Yankees lineup, well, the Yankees lineup's a bad example. I go back to 2 years ago in the ALCS. It's like, yeah, you lost the LCS. Look at their lineup compared to ours. It was a great season by you guys, and I hate to say it, Guardians fans are tired of hearing, it was a great season. No, I think there's some people who are like, hey, let's punch it in. Let's go. It's been 78 years. Let's get going with this. When it comes to the Dodgers, like the Dodgers have a formidable lineup that makes a lot of people nervous. It's like, hey, you got to mind your P's and Q's. When it comes to the Guardians, and I think the Guardians are the best of the rest. When it comes to the Guardians, I don't think a lot of lineups are terrified. I think because right now we are in a transition. This is what makes them a fun team, is that we are not supposed to be a very competitive group. You see the youth movement that's going on here. You're seeing some of the things that are there. We've already admitted that, yeah, maybe part of it is the division. Okay, but they're not supposed to be a team that's incredibly competitive right now. They're supposed to be competitive in a couple of years. Like Parker Messick being an all-star here was not supposed to happen. Travis Bazzana being an all-star and not even starting day one on opening day was not supposed to happen. So I think a lot of us feel they're ahead of schedule. That doesn't mean that everybody's quaking in their boots before they take on the Guardians this year in the postseason. I'd love for it to happen, and maybe it will be like that, like the 90s Indians were years ago. But there's going to have to be a couple of years. So I hate that Jonathan said an inconvenient truth, but I think Jonathan told us the truth there.
And look,
now you're talking about a bigger problem with how people take postseason sports, which I think I agree with you.
Yeah,
but I'm just looking at what they said, and I go, well.
When you think about how the baseball and basketball regular seasons consume how many months out of 12? And I know there's some bleed over there, but that's the day in and day out of what made us really love sports. It's just now so quickly being dismissed. And look, part of it is, the Knicks just won the championship. And in the regular season, their fans hated them for certain months of the year, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the love-hate thing that, we all have anyway with our teams. But the more and more we get into the ring culture part of all this, or the only thing that matters is championships, I think you alienate. You have a way
I totally agree.
To alienate what made us fall in love. The first baseball game I went to was not a postseason game. It was a regular season game against the Royals. I'll never forget it. But now we're just like, these games don't matter. None of them matter.
It's done something weird to this show in particular. I don't know if it's with every show, but I think it's done something very weird with this show in particular I want to talk about in 5 minutes, as well as one word that got a lot of people upset about the Cavs' future yesterday. We'll tell you that word coming up at 7:01 on The Fan.
Travis Bazzana. Get all the latest Browns content filtered right to your phone during this offseason by following the Browns playlist and 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Don't trust anybody with your Cavs coverage unless they have sports in their name. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
I want to finish this up real quick because you had mentioned we are in this weird spot. One, I have to admit, I think Jonathan has a point. I don't like to. It's inconvenient. It's uncomfortable. It's something that, if you don't hear the entire answer, I think that it's going to get a lot of people upset. I don't think Jonathan's trying to get people upset. I wasn't trying to get anybody upset. I have to agree with Jonathan, though. If you go lineup to lineup, like the organization is taken very seriously. The organization has done very well. It's one of the model franchises in sports, talking about the Guardians. But when Jonathan says that they're not taken seriously in the postseason, I do think that, remember, we had Mad Dog Russo on. And it was great because he was basically, it was a weird interview because we were younger than what we are now. But he talked to us like we were college kids, and because he's a Hall of Famer. So it's like you can't touch Mad Dog Russo, right? And he's like, "Hey, you guys do a good job over there in Cleveland. You guys, you try hard, and your team's good, but it ain't nothing." Like he just completely dismissed the Guardians' chances that given year, and he really has ever since. And I'm not because he's not a New York fan. Like some people got it mixed up. He's a Giants fan, but I bring him up as an example because I do think that is a national perspective of going. Yeah, you guys got some good young players. You got a good lineup. If you're able to strike while the iron's hot, you might be able to do something special. But it's not an expectation. Yankees, Dodgers, used to be Red Sox. I don't think you can put that in there anymore. Yankees and Dodgers fans, and this is why there needs to be some serious change. Those are the ones that take themselves seriously. Mets would take themselves seriously, but they hate their team, and in so many ways, rightfully so.
But they're always going to be young,
yes,
right? Like the Guardians are never, teams like the Guardians are never going to have a whole bunch of vets. Only the closest we came to that.
Now.
Yeah, 2016, 2017, we added guys going for the World Series run, but that's all. And look, we're gonna probably be in the playoffs for the 8th time in 11 years this year.
And it's put us in a weird spot because I think when it comes to like radio and sports talk shows, and I really think content in general, I think we're kind of always put in a position to be negative. You think about this, if you're a content person, because I don't even just put this in sports radio, I put this in all content, YouTube, everything. If you're out there for an hour or 4 hours like we are, but if you're out there for an hour, you can't help but say something negative. And so you're always going to be accused of saying something negative. This is different because the Cavs, we're going, what are you guys' problems with this team? What on earth have the Cavs done? They lost. I get that, and it sucks that they lost. But what have the Cavs done to really make you dislike them this much? And we get to the end of the Guardians season. I go, you guys put on a great show. We got some good young talent. You have overachieved yet again. Why on earth does everybody seem to dislike this team? It's such a weird role reversal because I'm used to having fans going, what is your problem, guys? What is your... And this has been a totally different year for us.
Is it that the Cavs players make a lot of money? Do you think that has anything to do with it?
The Guardians players, in comparison to the general public, to us, to everybody, they make a lot of money.
They don't like Donovan Mitchell just got $68 million a year.
Donovan Mitchell deserves what he gets paid.
I mean, Jose Ramirez,
what the going rate is in the NBA.
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying I've always thought that baseball players seem to be more relatable to the average fan than the NBA guys. Especially in this town with the Guardians. Remember, it's all cost control. It's young guys on their first contract, arbitration eligible.
Yeah, when Stephen Kwan wrote that in his journal, I think a lot of people could resonate with that. Going, yeah, I work for a cheap boss. Like it kind of probably goes like that. I guess you have a point there.
I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with anything because like the Cavs are so drama free compared to the teams that everybody said, yeah, the LeBron teams are good, but so much drama. I can't wait for a team that doesn't have drama. Here. And then this Cavs team, like Donovan Mitchell, is one of the more likable stars in the NBA. Like everybody agrees. Nobody thinks, even the way he left Utah, people were like, he's right to want to leave. He's been there long enough.
Well, even like Evan Mobley, I think people want him to be more of a jerk.
Right.
Like he's such a nice person. And Jared Allen, obviously, I think Jared Allen would sit down and play board games with just about anybody out there.
Yeah.
He seems to be a nice guy. But you know what? Stephen Kwan plays chess. Like that was a well-documented story. Other guys play chess with fans out there. I don't know what it is. I don't know exactly what it is. But there seems to be a bit of a funk. It only seems to happen every postseason with the Guardians. The Cavs, it's been this way for going on 3 seasons now, where it's been a malaise. And it's weird. I'm feeling I'm having to talk people into believing into either one of these teams. Not because I want to just try to sell some product with either of them. It's because I really am starting to feel that way about these teams, where the Cavaliers are close. How do we punch through? The Guardians are close. All right, well, we're probably going to have to wait a minute to punch through because we're probably going to have to go through a CBA and all the other things that come with that.
Players said yesterday, no cap, which is what the players are always going to say. I mean, it's a big time here at the All-Star Weekend for them to weigh in.
You're going to have to wait them out, man.
On all the big stuff.
You're going to have to wait them out. There's only one way around it. That's the only way you can do it. 216-474-0092. All right, coming up at 8:20, we have Mike Sealski. He's going to join us. He's from WIP in Philadelphia as well as the Philadelphia Inquirer. I want to ask him about LeBron's chances going to the Philadelphia 76ers because they believe that they have a better chance than us, even some of those folks over there. But let me get to you with this. You said something yesterday that seemed to upset a lot of people.
Oh.
You used the term, you said you'd be, quote, devastated.
Yeah.
If LeBron didn't choose the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, you said it late in the show. We didn't bring it up. We didn't throw it out there as a thing for the fans. So yesterday, I didn't see these. Maybe I just ended up muting the conversation by accident. I didn't know. Apparently, there was ridicule, scorn, everything because you used the word devastated if LeBron didn't come back to Cleveland. Either by Cavs fans who feel that, or Cleveland fans who feel that you're just sniffing his jock, just loving LeBron too much.
Which I am. Yeah, I'm guilty.
Or, well, I mean, I'm right there with you having sniffs.
I can't imagine a player who's earned that more than LeBron James. Like we have fans that are obsessed with players that are so much like the Colin Sexton and Darius Garland stuff.
Well, and then
pardon me, I'm actually gonna really be in awe of one of the greatest to ever play any sport.
We've
ever.
also had an inordinate amount of weirdo Miami Heat fans who have gotten in on the conversation as well. So they're paying very close attention. They're in a couple other cities. Devastated is a word that bothered a lot of people. Devastated is a strong word.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you be devastated?
It's 23 years of, just such an extraordinary career. Followed him since his 5th game in high school, because that's the one I actually had my athletic director at West G, Tom Erzen, shout out, told me, go see this kid. Went to Walsh Jesuit to go watch him in the Dome over there. And I followed him from that day forward, was posting about him I was a high school senior at that point, and went and watched him in Columbus, traveled. I went wherever he went. And obviously hated him when he went to Miami. So that even adds to it. That even adds to the just complicated relationship that we've had. But then he came back and won a championship. And then I was annoyed that he went to the Lakers, but I understood it, and the writing was on the wall. And we had our own stuff to worry about. But now to have the opportunity to have it come full circle, truly full circle, and have him end his career here and do that last dance only LeBron's way and have it all be documented, I'd be devastated if it wasn't
So you want
Cleveland.
the story more than the championship possibilities?
Well, I don't see why I have to choose one. I think he's still so good, and the Cavs are so good that I think them together only adds to how awesome this would be. Can you imagine the storybook ending of him winning a championship this year?
It's a great story, and because of the way the league is structured, there's definitely a chance that you could win a championship with him. I don't think they'd have the best odds if they were to get LeBron.
But I just saw the Knicks win a championship, and nobody thought they could win a championship.
And that's kind of, this is kind of where it goes to the same conversation we have about the Guardians. It's well, why can't the Guardians do it? I mean, everybody says baseball's unpredictable. Well, here we are with the NBA.
Which has become unpredictable.
It's become unpredictable.
8 champions in 8 years. We've had some crazy, crazy runs. The Kawhi Leonard, Toronto Raptors, nobody saw.
Fit matters more than it ever has, and we don't even know what fit is going to be year to year to year. So it's become more unpredictable. So you're kind of making the same argument. I'm not even ripping you for this, by the way. The term devastated, though. I don't think I'm devastated if he doesn't join the Cavs. And I can't put my thumb on it. I want him to come back. I think it would be a great story, a cool story. Everybody could enjoy it. It might, if he only comes back for a year, it might be a little bizarro here and there, depending on what, because we are going to be analyzing gift baskets and tchotchkes and all these other places that he goes to. And, when he goes to Miami for the last time and goes to LA for the last time, there's going to be a lot there. But I don't think I'm going to be devastated if he goes, I'm going to go to the Miami Heat. Disappointed, yes. Devastated, I'll pick up the pieces and go, well, we're still a really good basketball team. I just don't want to deal with the whole who cares of a really good basketball team that has a chance to still win a championship with or without LeBron. Yes, they still have that chance. There's moves that they still have to make, and I don't know what moves they can make if they didn't get LeBron, but damn it, they would still be a really good team that could compete to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then we'll see what happens. If they have LeBron, yes, I think they could compete to go to the NBA Finals. It's still a good team, and it puts us in this weird spot where when we got him in 2014, we were getting ready to compete, and then it took us to a different level because you had to make trades. But in the 2 times he's left, we had clear rebuilds ahead of us, and it was all right, we can learn to love these new kids. We'll go through the rebuild. Here we go. We're still close, but we're not close enough for a lot of fans. Devastated is not the word I'll use, though. Disappointed, yeah. Yeah, I just think the poetry and think about what a story LeBron has been. And I know there's fatigue of any story. I mean, even Tom Brady by year 20 or whatever, there was fatigue. We're 2 weeks into this.
It's just he was still playing at a high level. Well, that's the thing with LeBron. He's still playing at such a high level. This isn't Aaron Rodgers, who was not playing at a high level, and the Steeler fans know it, and so they're not really all that excited. They're chanting Will Howard, any chance they get over there. Here in Cleveland, this is a massive upgrade at the position that we have so desperately needed, especially come playoff time. And I can't even imagine the emotions of the playoffs in April and LeBron James, if he's healthy, trotting out there and dusting it off one last time. And maybe it's a disaster. Maybe he's horrible come that time. You know what? Kobe Bryant was horrible in his last year with the Lakers. And then that last game, he scored 60 points, shot it every time, and it was amazing. And everyone agreed. This is a circus, but it's amazing. We get a whole season of this with LeBron still able to play at a very high level. How cool is that? And that is why I know how special it would be. Even for the people that say it wouldn't be special, they're tired of LeBron. I know for a fact, those people, if they're Cavs fans, they will pay money. They will go watch him one last time, and it'll be a pinch me moment.
It is
hard with their kids and their grandkids to say, we have watched this. This guy has been such a massive part of our life. Think about that last Masters victory for Tiger Woods. How special that was. Even people that had washed their hands with him, tired of Tiger, the people that had jumped off the Tiger bandwagon for all the personal stuff.
Ended up rooting for him that day.
Everybody came around and thought this was special. How many times do you have a chance for that to be the case this year if LeBron James comes back? It'd be amazing.
It's very difficult to do. 216-474-0092, reminding you all Cavs conversations brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside Hard Iced Tea, who ask you to please enjoy that Surfside Hard Iced Tea responsibly. Would you be devastated? That's the word. Devastated. If LeBron doesn't choose Cleveland. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. 8:20, Mike Sealski on the Fan.
It's Anthony Lima for QC Kinetics. I'll tell you, I was devastated with shoulder soreness for quite some time. Good news is I had QC Kinetics and regenerative medicine.
Donna can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Where do they keep this thing? I got to take my son. I felt bad.
Wyoming.
Oh,
Cheyenne.
You getting two birds stoned at once? I'll go to Cheyenne.
Take a trip. Do some fly fishing.
I can still make Cheyenne.
It's a good George Strait song.
I was going to say about 7 of you know, and it ain't the guy sitting next to me, but it was the guy in front of me. Did you see the big boy again yesterday?
So we did, and I would say I'm 2 for 2 in big boy sightings.
I think
you got to be kidding.
How many people in the Cleveland metro, right?
Lot.
2
million.
2 mil?
Yeah.
At least 1.8 have seen the big boy. Here you go. Here's some audio. This is a little mashup. You got some CBS News. You got some WKYC. You got some big boy.
It's the largest, heaviest, most powerful steam locomotive in the world.
Is just amazing. It touches my heart and it touches my soul.
Words can't even describe it. They need to bring a poet out here. It's amazing. It's incredible that human ingenuity could create such a interesting machine that's so big and powerful.
I wanted to see the big boy in my whole life. I never seen a steam train like up close.
How could I dump on those guys? Like, my first reaction is like, man, it's a steamship. I go, do you understand the levels of emotions the Cleveland Browns have brought out in me? How dare I rip on any of those guys? Not the child, obviously, but the grown men who were in there.
I'm just glad that at least one child got to see the big boy.
Was that Eli or was that Jonah?
No, Eli or Jonah or Axel.
I'm glad. For those guys, I'm glad they got that experience. That meant the world to them.
I wanted to see the big boy in my whole life. I never seen a steam train like up close.
Are we sure that wasn't Ken's kid on the coming in hotline?
I thought I saw one in Amish country once, but it wasn't the big boy.
No, it wasn't the big boy because there's only one of those.
Yeah,
and it only comes around on 250th anniversary. Yeah. So in 250 more years.
I wanted to see the big boy in my whole life. I never seen a steam train like up close.
I mean,
looks like I'm going to Cheyenne, Wyoming.
It really was like my father-in-law was like, "This is Americana right here. You can't miss stuff like this. This is integral to the American lifestyle."
Cheyenne, it's not going to be running. It's just going to be parked.
Just be sitting there.
That's fine.
I got to tell you,
I'm in Fostoria right now. Go get in the car. You can be in Fostoria in how long?
I told you guys I would have left early yesterday, and you wouldn't allow me to leave early.
Oh, I wanted you to leave. I tried to get you out of here. You didn't want to.
That one.
I wanted to see the big boy in my whole life. I never seen a steam train like up close.
Kenny, this really was, honestly, and I've made fun of train people probably my whole life.
Why?
And then I got to see it. I had chills yesterday again. And I'd seen it already. Last month,
wait a minute.
I had chills.
Well, that's part of our inside story from big bullies to big boys.
I'm going to get to LeBron. I'm going to get to LeBron in a second. He ain't going anywhere, and he ain't making a decision yet. You never had a model train phase?
No, never.
Really?
Never had one.
You didn't either?
No. I think I got one once. I know my aunt had one under her Christmas tree.
Oh, I was like, okay, cool. Dude, that's about back in the day. Now, my uncle...
I was more into slot car racing if we're going to do something like that.
Oh, that was fun, too. But I only had like a small set, and I used to slot car race my dad on his slot car racing set.
Even that lasts for about an hour, and then you're...
My uncle, though, I told you, my uncle was a meticulous man. He was obsessive-compulsive before obsessive-compulsive. Like, everything was in Ziploc bags and things like that. I told you, he had a 75 Corvette Stingray that had 1,200 miles on it. He completely took the engine apart. Then he took the motor apart and greased everything and put them in great big plastic bags. Like, there's no way you could steal it and steal the motor. Like, you had to steal that or you had to steal the components for the motor, and then good luck, because he was the one who knew how to put it together, right? But he had that model train set, and he was very meticulous about it. And I'd go over to my Uncle Jack's, and it was just trains. Like, he had 2 train sets, and I'm running the things. I never got to wear the hat. And then every Christmas, It's exactly what Owen says. You get the model train set out, you put it around the tree, and then I built a Lego village around it, and it was awesome. You didn't like trains?
And imagine how awesome it would be for your kids to relive this experience, only get to see the real thing.
Well, we couldn't do it.
Oh, for 2. In my whole life. I never seen a steam train like up close.
Is there a big boy model train?
0 for 2 for the Carmans.
I'll get the big boy model train. I'll get one of those.
What's great is Ken got so defensive the first time we did this segment.
Yeah.
And then was like, guys, there's another opportunity. And then he didn't bother to do it for the second time.
No, I bothered to try to do it. I couldn't see it. I couldn't get to see it, okay?
Why couldn't you see it?
I didn't plan well enough for it, apparently. And again,
they told you the times they would be in each city.
I woke up at 5:24 in the morning. 34. Woke up at 5:34 in the morning on Sunday morning. I knew we were going to have to be there because there were thousands of people in Rocky River and everywhere around here that was backed up for miles. I knew it. And I told him, and I was the only one who took it seriously in the house. And so by the time 9 o'clock came around and everybody started coming downstairs of all the combined families, I'm going, what are you guys doing? I'm ready to go.
Where did you go to try to see it?
I went to Struthers. And there was more people in Struthers than there's ever been in the city of Struthers,
Ohio.
Ohio.
And I feel like everybody in Struthers was like, got to see it.
Yep, and I didn't. Well,
I wanted to see the big boy in my whole life.
There's got to be
I've never seen a steam train like up close.
There's got to be a big boy model train. Oh, my God, it's $2,800. All right, never mind.
He's going to pay for his mistake.
Yeah. I'd spend $2,800 to go to Cheyenne to see the real thing, let alone get a model train of it.
I wanted to see the big boy in my whole life. I never seen a steam train like up close.
Oh, and do you think the regret's going to build over time?
I certainly hope not. For Ken's sake, I hope the pit doesn't form in his stomach and he
it's eating
thinks about it, stares off into the distance while he's driving home, sees another train and goes, that could have been the big boy. That could have been us.
Tone, this effing thing is $2,900 before tax.
Oh, yeah. That'll be some bonding time for you and your kids.
Lionel's good stuff. I don't begrudge the fine folks at Lionel here, but Lord Almighty, $2,800. I'll just get him a new train set.
Yeah, that's the price. That's the price of the big boy.
I wanted to see the big boy in my whole life. I never seen a steam train like up close.
That kid sounds so happy.
Well,
his whole life.
We'll go see monster trucks again.
That's you can't fake it.
Tractor pull. He likes tractor pull.
That's right. There's only been 843 Bigfoots.
There was like nine. There was like 9.
How many grave diggers?
Oh, there's plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one time on Monster
There's
Jam.
only one USA one.
They had like all 12 of them come out at once, and it was awesome. Different colors, the old one, the whole thing. Yeah, there's only one USA one. Carolina Crusher. Taurus was big back in the day. Snakebite, that was like revolutionary, that body on Snakebite. You remember Snakebite?
Of course, who doesn't?
Who doesn't remember Snakebite? Dude, monster trucks.
I wanted to see Snakebite my entire life.
Is your wife going to let you take Mason to see monster trucks? They're kick-ass, man.
Why
They're
not?
kick-ass.
Just a little loud right now for him, but...
We had headphones.
Yeah.
You bring the headphones. You bring the headphones. You don't want to buy them there. I mean, unless you want to buy them, they're like $40, but you can go to Harbor Freight and get them for like $2.98, and they work just as well.
You know what? We definitely will go.
You say that now. I hope she'll allow it. Too much dust in the air and noise pollution and God knows what else. All right, are you devastated if LeBron doesn't come back? How can you make fun of trained people and then a grown man sits there and says that he's devastated another man will come back to his favorite basketball team? Can we just point that out for everybody and stop making fun of each other's obsessions?
I am trying to think of a name that I have said out loud more than LeBron James in my lifetime.
Wasn't Dad.
Definitely more. You beat me to it.
I'm sorry.
You beat me to it.
I'm sorry.
But seriously, what other name?
I didn't know you were going with that line.
For you, it'd be Dale. Have you said Dale more than LeBron James?
No, Dale died in 2001. After that, I haven't said it as much.
About him?
But you guys always set it up because you guys start your jokes about Dale, so I don't really talk about Dale that much.
Not a joking matter, Ken.
Well, yeah, tell that to the boss, who seems to always want to make jokes about right turns with me.
Yeah, if you were my age and you knew about him in high school, who could you have possibly... Like, all right, Baker Mayfield had a run, but that was That was only, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, we're sports hosts in Cleveland, Ohio. We're going to say the name LeBron more than any other name. Who's going to play as long as LeBron? Who's going to have as illustrious career as LeBron in Cleveland, Ohio?
That's what I mean. And
Nobody.
It would be totally different if he couldn't play. Then it would just be all nostalgia. And, nostalgia has a funny way of being awesome and then also cruel. He can still play.
Devastated is not the word.
Especially like if it were a Philly or Minnesota.
I'd be annoyed. I'd be annoyed if he didn't choose here. I'd be disappointed that he didn't choose here. Devastated ain't the word.
Anthony, you bring up if he's a Minnesota Timberwolf.
I'd be disappointed, but not devastated. I go, what are you doing with the last year of your career? You're going to go to Minnesota? No offense to the fine folks in Minnesota, but come on. That's not his destiny. Neither's Philadelphia. That's not his destiny. That's John Colavita's destiny. That ain't LeBron's. I'd be disappointed going, what is this all about? What did you mean to do this? This is a weird way to end it when you're still in your prime. You didn't retire, not in your prime, but at the end of your prime. You're not Michael Jordan coming back to a team you have like a stake in, like Michael Jordan did after taking 3 years off and going to the Washington Wizards, or a couple years off and going to the Wizards. Like, you're still an active player. It's going on 24 straight years. And if you go to anywhere else, I'm going to look at it and go, man, you made the wrong decision. This is kind of silly. And I don't think, again, I put the Cavs up against Philadelphia. I put them up against Minnesota. I put them up against anybody. I hope this doesn't get back to him and he doesn't choose the Cavs because of it. No, I just would think it's silly. If you wanted to choose, Miami would be Miami would be the toughest one just because we share him with Miami to some degree. Because he's the number one here. But we had James Jackson on yesterday, and he didn't mention him even in the top 3 of Miami Heat players. So he's more ours than anybody else's. And if you decide to not come back, okay, I think you've just made the wrong choice. And I'm not devastated by it. The team is good. It's not like we're going to go from 18 wins to a championship level team.
They're going to be very good again this year.
I've done this as a fan, from 2010 on, even a couple years before 2010. I mean, we're doing this for 17 years. I don't have any more in my heart to be devastated if he doesn't choose us.
Didn't you always think he was going to finish his career in Cleveland?
I thought he would sign like a one-day thing, honestly, and that'd be it.
Yeah,
I really did.
That would have meant nothing to me.
Well, then that's kind of how I felt he would finish it. I did not think he would be like playing his final year in Cleveland. I thought he was going to finish in L.A., and that was going to be it. And then over the last year, with everything that happened, I go, okay, I'm going to kick it around. I'm going to kick the idea around. And now here we are in the full throttle of everything, just kind of waiting on one man to make his decision. But devastated isn't the word. Again, disappointed is the word. But there's been so much history. And again, they don't take away the championship. The championship ain't going anywhere. It's still in the case down the street. And it's a great memory. And I feel fondly about that memory, and I have fond feelings for everybody involved in that team, including him. That's why I'm not devastated. To be devastated means I would possibly hate him. I don't hate LeBron. I got no reason to hate LeBron.
No, okay. I'm not. No. That's a little different.
If you're devastated, that's pretty close to hate at some point.
I think it has more to do with just the devastation of the fact that the Cavs had a chance to have this perfect symmetry. I called it poetry earlier. Of course, so did the one guy watching the big boy called that poetry. Just to have it all come full circle and have him play at still a very high level right here in Cleveland. Like, I get chills thinking about it now. And so to be denied that opportunity, and then just to, especially if you went to Golden State, just to see him one time this year in Cleveland and pray he's even healthy at that time to be able to come here. Like, that's part of it. Like, you imagine if he goes to Golden State, you get one shot at him, and then he's out for 4 weeks because of whatever injury. Like, that would suck. What a way for that to come to a close.
It would be terrible. But it's been such an illustrious history. And I know that Ben Axelrod, our buddy at FOS, had just tweeted about it. He's listening about, like you said, you've convinced him that he'd be devastated if LeBron didn't choose Cleveland. I've searched my heart for a long time, ever since you said that statement and since I saw the reactions to it. I just don't feel the same way. I'd be very happy if he joined here, be overjoyed if he came back here. I'd feel great about their chances to win a championship. But if he didn't choose here, I would just feel it's a miss. I can't make him choose Cleveland. I would just feel he's making a mistake for his overall legacy. If he didn't win a championship, I think it'd be a tremendous mistake. coming up in 5 minutes. Juan Soto was asked about his time with the Yankees at the All-Star game, and it might hurt some Guardians fans' feelings to hear what he had to say. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, about last night in 5 on the Fan.
nothing to do with me. I mean, they moved the meeting. I didn't miss it. I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
How it is when you win in Cleveland, man. They love you. When you lose, whew, it's the way it should be.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. He couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
That sounds really good, but I'm not 6'5", and I don't have the athletic ability to play in the NBA.
Now, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
Oh, hey, guys.
What's going on?
It's been a minute.
Well, we're so happy to have you since John Colavita is in his hometown attending all the All-Star festivities. He even got all this incredible sound from Guardians players.
Yeah.
So he's putting work in.
What would you tell? Did you think? If I told you at the beginning of WBC you were going to be an All-Star? What would you have said?
It's the thought that counts in it. You know, he's there putting in work.
Absolutely.
What a wonderful
Yeah.
sentiment.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was in the back cracking up.
It's the thought. What is the thought? I mean, if it was the thought, but how would you compare it to the thought?
If you could, or I mean, if you would, but I know you wouldn't.
What would you tell? Did you think? If I told you at the beginning of WBC you were going to be an All-Star? What would you have said?
My question is, why didn't he just cut it? Why didn't he cut his question, the first part, out until he actually asked the question
I
he
just
wanted?
assumed he was really busy.
He probably was.
No.
He's fanboying.
He left it in there.
He loves baseball.
He's on Hinge.
I hope that there's a part.
No.
He's on Hinge?
I would assume
You
that's
don't
where
think
he
he-
gets
well,
all
better
his
not be.
vacation plans.
You don't think he turned that back on the minute he got off the flight?
Of course.
Remember, you can do it friends.
Well, he didn't look like he had a fresh cut for this trip.
Yeah, well, he dressed up for the role.
He was
Anyway,
so
go ahead.
dressed.
Anytime I get on the mic with you guys, I get a little nervous for some reason.
Go ahead.
Why?
Go ahead.
I don't know. I just never know what's going to happen here.
Well, you took us to a weird place last time, so don't be blaming that on
Okay,
us.
all right.
I missed that day.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
you guys already kind of mentioned it a little bit, but MLB All-Star festivities kicked off Sunday night with, the Futures game. But last night, the main event behind the main event, the Home Run Derby, down to the finalists, Kyle Schwarber and Jordan Walker. And Walker eventually winning with the 3 home runs in the final swing. No, he was down 3 home runs with the final swings. Ends up cracking 4 straight to snipe the Derby from Schwarber with 12. Ken, you said that you didn't like this year how they did it. Why?
I don't like the
new
old
format.
format. I like the old format where it was just hell hacks and everybody up there trying to hit as many as they could in a certain amount of time. It felt like you were trying to beat the clock. It felt like a baseball version of supermarket sweep, and I thought it was even better, and I liked it that way better. This version isn't horrible. Don't get me wrong. It's just like the other version a lot better.
I feel like the swings are more intentional, though, now.
Well,
and I don't really like that.
Well,
I like guys going up there and trying to hit anything. I thought there was more pressure on the pitcher. I thought there was so many. It felt like a teamwork type of thing.
It was. I do think, though, it added a pressure element to the batters. Now, do you want that in the Home Run Derby in the first few rounds? Probably not. You just want them to hit a bunch of dingers. What did you think that, Caminero, I was like, man, if he wins this, we are going to get some backlash.
It's just a miss.
With the Guardians.
That's a miss.
We don't treat it the same way we do in football or basketball if a player gets away and is as good as he is. But he's having such an amazing year. It would have added insult to injury had he have won the whole thing.
Yeah, to a degree. And they made their decision, and he ended up being a tremendous baseball player. And we eat that decision, even though can I make myself feel a little bit better and say, well, we wouldn't have been able to afford him long term anyway. Like, is Tampa Bay paying him big money long term?
Well, no. I mean, he's only in.
How old is he?
He's still very young.
He's
He's 23.
Age? Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Yeah, this is 4th year. And the first year only played 7 games.
Oh, boy.
Jordan Walker, a young guy, too. He gets $800,000 a year, won $1 million just from the Home Run Derby. So, nice little bonus.
Hell yeah. Over doubled his salary. That's incredible.
I'm looking this up. What is Tobias Myers doing now? He's a pitcher for the Mets. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
That's who we traded Junior Caminero for.
Prior to the Derby, a couple guys joined the Fox Sports MLB crew. One guy in particular, Justin Verlander, who announced his retirement. I think it was early last week. Kind of just been beat up this whole year. Hasn't pitched much. I think since April. But Alex Rodriguez, I need you guys to tell me if you guys think this was an oopsies or if you actually thought this was part of Verlander's career.
I also look at you as I look at Tom Brady, Jeter, Papi, Mariano as guys that played into their 40s and is doing it at a high level. But this is for the young ones that are out there watching. How do you explain being a late draft pick, being designated for assignment a couple times with two different teams, right?
Me?
Yeah, no?
That's wrong. You got the wrong notes.
I get it.
He went on to ask a question just about getting better into his 30s, how he's progressed into his 30s. But I mean, that's a guy who I think it was the second overall pick.
Yeah.
DFA'd by 2 teams, late round pick. It was was this a joke or did he actually get this screwed up?
This is why you got to have good producers on your team. This is, A-Rod kind of parachutes into these things. Remember, he's in business, an entrepreneur. He's been on Shark Tank.
Why are you trying to defend Alex Rodriguez? He needs no defense.
I'm just saying it doesn't surprise me that he's not following the minutia as if he's a real pundit. They just want the big name, A-Rod, and I think you have A-Rod just to talk about how do you see ball, hit ball. Those are the things I want to hear from A-Rod. Him breaking down, the minutia of the sport.
Would Alex Rodriguez have played against Justin Verlander?
I think at the beginning of that, he was you made my career hard or something like that at the end of his career.
Maybe he just had a brain fart. Sometimes you just have a brain fart and it just happened to have it on national television because that is.
Have you guys ever had a bad brain fart?
Every morning. Every morning I've done something stupid.
A bad one. That's oh my God, I can't believe
but the worst is you don't cover up for it. You just admit it.
Last week. I admitted it last week.
What was it?
It was a Nick Wilson soundbite. And I was really mad at myself over it. Really mad.
A-Rod was 11 of 35 with 5 homers against Verlander.
You think you'd remember how things were going with him then if you were that good against him compared to everybody else not being that good against him?
1 home run every 7 at-bats? Pretty impressive.
Are you serious? He was that good against Justin Verlander? That's amazing.
Well, maybe was this a diss then?
No. How could you not? No, you wouldn't say you got DFA'd a couple times as a gag or a shot at him because you would sit there and go, hey, if I was taking a shot at him, say he was Justin Verlander and I was Alex Rodriguez, I go, listen, I know you're dominant, not against me, by the way. And then everybody would have a laugh and they would probably throw up what my stats were against Justin Verlander during our careers. Maybe it would turn into a thing how were you able to get to Justin Verlander when so many guys got shut down by him? That would be one of the conversations instead of, we got DFA'd a couple of times. And no, none of that's true.
Okay, well, moving to basketball, Cleveland Cavaliers Summer League squad out in Vegas. Young guys getting to showcase their talents. And the Cavs started 0-2, though, but they picked up their first win yesterday against Miami, 90-73. Cavs Malik Thomas, he was the 34th overall draft pick this year, showing some stuff early. Led the pack with 35 points, 3 assists. He gave his opinion on what he offers to a deep veteran team.
Career scoring night in summer league play is 42 points. You got 21 in the first half. I don't know how much you're going to play in the second half, but when you hear that, what comes to mind with you having this tally right now?
Just get a win, that's all. Not really worried about the accolades. If it happens, it happens. I want to win this game.
When you score 35 in a game in Summer League, can I say we are sitting on something special, or is that Summer League? Tom, you've watched far more Summer League than anybody in the city.
Well, we're out of time. We'll get to. I do have comments on this because I've watched a lot of this dude play, and he has been awesome.
I want that, and I also want to know, why are we still trying to change each other's minds on July 14th? Just go back to your corners. It's not worth having this argument, which is in 5 minutes on The Fan.
This is an Odyssey Sports
and can always listen on the Odyssey app. Headline Sports News every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Get the latest Cavs news, the afternoon drive. Weekdays starting at 2. Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Does it matter that Malik Thomas had 35, or is it just Summer League? You know more about Summer League than anybody.
Yeah, so
at least on this station.
There have been
probably in the city.
There have been plenty of guys that have really looked good in Summer League, and it's just such a different league compared to actual, even regular season games. We talk about how much the playoffs are different. Even the regular season games. You know, right now, you're just allowed to shoot on every possession, which is what Malik Thomas is doing. He's shooting every possession. I think what's been impressive is second-round pick. Most second-round picks never see the light of day in the NBA, but he has shown the ability to, with this herky-jerky style, kind of like he's been compared to, he's like a shorter Tyrese Halliburton. Now, Halliburton's an all-time, not all-time, but a great passer.
Yeah.
Really good passer. I don't think this kid is that good of a passer. But to see, we already knew he could shoot. He was a 40% shooter in college. And to see the distance, and he's a Calipari player. I mean, so you know, He's somebody who always thought he was going to play in the NBA, and some people were surprised how far he had slipped, and they had that other dude, Acuff, on the team that went ahead of him. It was all the focus. This kid has, like, deep range, and he's had the dribble move. So I think it surprised a lot of people just how comfortable he's looked.
Okay. I mean, I'll take what I can get. I tell you, he's in the highlights I've seen, he's looked fantastic. I know they got their last one on the 15th, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they got one tomorrow, and then that's the end of the summer league, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a pleasant surprise, I got to tell you. It's been nice to see again some of the highlights, and you end up, because there's very little else going on, you end up rooting for the guy later on in his career. I want to throw something by you. I caught you yesterday on the internet. Social media reactions on X, brought to you by
Shivan Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
And you were kind of having a back and forth with people about completion percentages and QBR. Why are we still trying to change each other's minds on July 14th, guys? Can we just go back to our corners? There's this... First off, I don't understand why we need to compare Dylan Gabriel to Shedeur Sanders. There's no comparison. Congratulations to Dylan Gabriel for getting married. I'm sure him and his now new wife are not going to be here very long. But the whole fight that's going on, like, I know I'm kind of just sitting here going, well, we've done the LeBron, and that's about all the LeBron we can do. But damn, why are we trying to change each other's mind on July 14th? I want to know, honestly, the guys who have had the Shedeur fights for the last year, has there ever been anybody who said, you know what, you're right, you've changed my mind on Shedeur Sanders? Has there anybody who's had the fight about Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson over the last 6 months? Has anybody, real life or online, told you, you know what? You've changed my mind. You're right. It's July 14th. Why are we still fighting? Can we just get to training camp and go, okay, now you guys are here at training camp. Let's see how you guys do.
Yeah, that's the great part of this.
Like, I'm at the point
it doesn't matter whether or not, you're changing your opinion. They're going to compete. They're going to compete come training camp. You've got a new head coach, so none of that previous bias is going to enter into it. All the stuff that people levied against Kevin Stefanski, that's gone. So now the best man win. Let's see.
You brought this up with me last week with the videos of them working out. And I go, well, this is nothing new. No, I think that maybe Shedeur has some fans that aren't football fans. Maybe they just like Shedeur. I mean, he does cross over from not just football, but I think also pop culture. I think that they might not understand that guys work out. Every quarterback is supposed to work out during the 6 weeks off that you get between mini camp and in between. Well, I think a lot of teams, a lot of guys film it. We just don't pay attention to it.
More and more they do it.
Like, I'm sure there is clips of Patrick Mahomes getting his work in out there. I just assume he is, just like I assume any quarterback is.
Yeah,
I assume
it's
Dylan
every
Gabriel
day.
is,
I will
for crying out
say
loud.
it is every day with these two quarterbacks.
But like
they do absolutely put out their stuff every day on social media.
But I've got to the point here, and I've told you this last week, and I got to tell you again. I'm reaching a level here where I almost look forward to one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, which is the completion percentages during camp. I'm sorry, guys. You use this stuff during arguments. I go, we're not going to have an argument here. This doesn't work for me. But I'd at least rather have that because they're actually in practice, practicing and doing things, than us trying to start fights with each other in the middle of July during the All-Star break over two quarterbacks that are really the open competition for the only open competition, it seems, in the NFL, and also two quarterbacks that, by and large, right now are not out of the woods when it comes to their careers and not out of the woods when it comes to getting the job and holding on to the job past 2026. So why are we starting to have these arguments with each other? Are we just bored? And so we have to start fights over quarterbacks every single day? What on earth could I say right now? Like, I like Shedeur a bunch. Guilty as charged. I still have I don't think he's going to be the future quarterback of the Cleveland Browns by everything that I hear from the team, by everything that I see. I want it to happen. I think they want it to happen, but I think that they're getting themselves ready for 2027 with everything that they've done. I want it to work out for Shedeur, but I'm going, guys, why are we not having knockdown dragouts here between him and Deshaun Watson or anything? Like, what?
Well, there's clearly...
Why put ourselves through it?
There's clearly an insecurity
in
there
July
from their super fans, right? Like, they will not allow anybody to say that he actually wasn't good at all last year. Because
we had good moments, but I can't deny any of the other stuff.
And believe it or not, Dylan Gabriel had a few good moments. Yeah, Shedeur had more good moments. He also had less good moments in Jackson Dart, less good moments in Tyler Shook. Like, it's just okay to admit it.
I'm glad you brought up Jackson Dart.
But we just refuse to admit it.
I'm glad you brought up Jackson Dart because I'll tell you this. Like, Tyler Shook and Jackson Dart, neither were on any of these lists when it comes to the executives and coaches and stuff from ESPN. Yeah. Like, you did have Bo Nix get votes. You didn't get anything from Jackson Dart. So I say this, and I'm sure some people got mad about what I just said about Shedeur, and what I have to admit is what I think is his future with the Browns because of what the Browns have done. Hope and belief are two different things. But you're still asking these questions about Jackson Dart and Tyler Shook, so it doesn't seem like anybody's overwhelmingly thrilled with what a lot of rookies did last year. So we're getting ready for 2027.
I think the Giants fans are pretty
Giants
thrilled
fans
about
are thrilled,
Jackson
but I'm talking about executives and coaches and scouts in the league when I go by that list where these guys are left out. So, hey, Giants, I'm sure Giants fans and Saints fans are excited for the guys. I'm trying to look at what's real. Shedeur fans are excited.
Drake May wasn't left out, right?
I don't remember off the tippy top. I'm sure he wasn't. But what I'm bringing out here, Tone, is that fans can be as excited as they want. Shedeur fans are excited, but what are the Browns doing? Giants fans are excited. All right, the Giants are going to, because he's a first-round pick, they're going to try to invest in him and see if they can prove some of the executives wrong. Probably same thing with Tyler Shook, even though he's a second-round pick. But I don't know if any of the guys are actually through the woods just yet.
No, they're not.
I just sit there and I wonder, like, why are we...
But the difference is, like, Shedeur and, Deshaun, but we're not really talking about Watson for the sake of this discussion. Shedeur is fighting for his NFL life right now.
I think both are.
Like, what do you mean? Him and
Deshaun
yeah,
Watson,
I'm just
right?
I'm talking about the rookies.
Oh.
I'm talking about the second-year guys.
Yeah, okay.
Like, Shedeur he was not a first-round pick, and this is why you have to bring up he was a fifth-round pick. First-round picks get more leeway than just, 7 starts 1 year and then however many starts he gets this year. Fifth-round picks do not. They just may never get a shot again. That's just kind of how the league works. Or maybe they're backups, and then maybe they get fortunate that there are some injuries ahead of them, and they make their way. But like,
I still think he's going to have a better opportunity than what he has right now.
What's that?
I don't think Shedeur's going to have a better opportunity to start than what he has right now.
Already as a fifth-round pick to get 7 starts is amazing.
That is good.
Even if it wasn't good circumstances to get there, we all agree. Well, save the argument about the 4th string and all that. We get it. He was also a fifth-round pick. Fifth-round picks start behind the 8 ball almost 99% of the time.
But my whole issue, again, is has anybody actually changed anybody's mind in July?
No.
So why are we having these fights in July with each other where it's like, hey, we're so close to camp, they're about to go out there and prove it to us anyway.
The funny thing is, in camp, we're going to have the same fights. And what's funny is the most important thing, like, they've seen the quarterbacks complete passes to the wide receivers, and they've seen the wild plays and the scrambles. The stuff that probably is more important than any of it is stuff we're not privy to, which is, how are these guys in the meeting rooms? How are these guys on the installs?
Yeah.
How are they with the terminology? That stuff we're never, and they're going to lie to us. They'll never say, Oh, boy, one is way ahead of the other. Like, oh, boy, one is behind the other when it comes to just understanding the offense. They'll never do that. They're going to throw the players under the bus. So we're going to be sitting here glued and slaves to, and what it's going to do is the fans are going to attack the wide receivers anytime there's a drop, or we're going to...
That's the tale as old as time.
We are going to micromanage every throw. It's going to be under the microscope. And, did he throw that a little behind him? Did he... Like, Todd Monken knows that that's all part of football. What matters probably more to Todd Monken is, can they actually have faith in a quarterback to line up week one more than the other quarterback? That's so much more than making the flash play down the field. Like, yeah, you have to demonstrate that. Deshaun Watson's made so many flash plays in his career. Todd Monken knows he can do that. And Shedeur made some flash plays last year. Maybe you'd argue he made more flash plays than Tyler Shook. Not more than Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, put on quite an amazing highlight reel. But either way, Monken knows these guys can do those things. He's an old school coach. What do you think Todd Monken's looking for? Things
you were just talking about.
Can I trust that on 3rd and 8, if it's not there, you just throw the ball into the ground? And instead of taking the 15-yard sack that takes us out of field goal range.
Well, I think it's even more important on 2nd and 4, but I get what you're pointing out there. Like, you can't turn with last year's offense if you took a bad sack, and Shedeur got himself in a couple of bad sacks. But
he took some of the worst sacks. And by the way, Deshaun Watson does too.
At least some of his ill-advised throws last year were, beyond the line of scrimmage, not what Deshaun did a couple of years ago. Like, I don't want to start getting in name-calling fights over guys where they just told you, and I hope we have a pleasant surprise with Shedeur. I don't have any faith in Deshaun Watson. We've discussed that many times. But when they did what they've done this offseason, I think they tell everybody that they're getting ready for 2027, and that if somebody comes out on the right side of things and they take over the job, great. We can use that for something else. But when they do that, I just don't understand why we're cussing each other out in July over quarterbacks. In July. Over a quarterback competition where you still are looking forward to 2027.
I'll tell you why.
It's not about who's going to be our franchise QB.
I told you why.
The plans are there.
They're insecure. They think they have to defend their guy.
Why?
Because they think this matters, and it doesn't.
It does. None of that matters.
They think it matters. They think that if you ever say the following sentence, Shedeur Sanders was bad at quarterback last year, that we don't know the circumstances behind it. We don't have to say it every time.
Well, you have to explain it every time, apparently.
No, we don't. That's the thing. We all understand the setup for the terrible Browns football team that led to the coach getting fired.
Yes.
We all understand it. And which also leads everybody to think they're drafting a quarterback next year. We all know it.
So are they upset that you don't qualify it?
Yes, every time.
All right.
You're leaving out the context. You're moving the goalpost. You're leaving out the context.
But you said that 3 months ago. So again, what the F has changed in the last 3 months?
Their insecurity
that would change any of this.
Changed.
We can't keep going in a circle like this, guys. We're gonna end up losing our minds.
The Shedeur fans' insecurity has not changed, and it will be unwavering. It will be relentless. They will continue to come. And if he washes out here or doesn't win the job, they'll want him traded or cut. They will want him anywhere but Cleveland because they will say he was wronged here.
Okay.
Even though it's a fifth-round pick,
if he changes that, then fine. That's fine if he does that. See, now you're raising my pulse again on the whole thing that I was fighting against, where I don't want to sit there and have these arguments on July 14th. Whose mind has been changed over the last how many months? Really for the last year. Because there's really been no minds being changed. If you love Shedeur day one, you didn't fall off the wagon over the last year. If you hated Shedeur day one, I don't know many people who have come across the aisle other than they hate Deshaun Watson more. That's it. I like Shedeur Sanders. I like him mostly because of his father.
We love his father.
Is that not fair to say for me?
We love his father.
So, I would love for him so I don't have to sit here. I would love to set my quarterback sheet on fire for 2027. But I know I can't do that right now. So what is the point of starting fights with each other on July 14th?
To make yourself feel better.
That is about what? What am I going to feel better about?
About the quarterback that you don't know what kind of career he's going to have.
I cannot tell you things that I find to be untrue and start to make up half-truths just to make myself feel better. That's not what we're supposed to be about. Okay, there's been a lot of inconvenient truths that we've had to share with each other here over the last years. And I've tried to bring you all on my side of the aisle. You've tried to do the same thing. But I think at some point you have to see, hey, you know what? We just got to get to camp and let the chips fall where they may. And if Deshaun Watson goes out there and looks like the other fool that he's looked like over the last 4 years, none of us are going to be surprised. If Shedeur Sanders goes out there and he plays decently and he's able to take the job, I think a lot of us will be happy and hopeful. Happy and hopeful is half the battle when it comes to this team when you're going into a year where you've already traded your greatest player ever on defense for a first-round pick. And we're sitting over here having online fights and cussing each other out on phones and on the air in July over this quarterback room? Really?
You know where they don't do that? Rooms with good quarterbacks.
Like, you got to understand.
They don't sit there and dwell on this stuff every day.
I've opened up cuss out. Guys, make it worth your while. Make it worth. And I understand that there's Browns fans that might not be talking to Browns fans. They might be talking to Shedeur first fans, or if there are any anymore, Deshaun first fans. But like when we got cuss out emails and even threats to some level when it comes to TJ Watt and Myles Garrett, we're talking about two Hall of Famers. At least in the sports parlance, it's kind of worth it. This July. Lord. There's other things to get in arguments about. And here you got me raised up and angry, saying the same stuff you've been saying for a year. And I'd love to argue on it, but nothing has happened. And when it comes to the videos, it's not a campaign. It's not politics. One guy makes the decision. This is a dictatorship. You might as well call Todd Monken Putin because he's the one making the decision. And we could sit there and argue and bicker and have our little online polls and things like that. Ain't none of it going to matter. One guy makes the choice. And you know what? I actually hope he makes the choice because if anybody else does, then I have to question the integrity of the choice. Coming up next, Mike Sealski. He's going to join us on the show. Philadelphia Inquirer, Sports Radio WIP. Has John answered his phone yet? Do we know? Hopefully we'll get to John.
I texted him. He is
All right,
not.
I'm going to call John. We're going to wake his ass up. He was at the All-Star festivities yesterday in Philadelphia. Ken Carman, Tone Master General. We get boots on the ground from Mike Sealski and 5 on the Fan.
It's Anthony Lima for X.
days of toe-tapping tunes, hearty eats, and a whole heap of merriment for the entire family. July 17th to 19th at the Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds. Get your tickets now at clevelandirish.org. Sláinte!
There's Cavs and there's NBA news that happens while you're at work. Baskin and Phelps. Weekday mornings starting at 10.
LeBron make his decision yet?
Yeah, a couple minutes ago.
Oh, what'd he say? Oh, well then fine.
We're still waiting.
All right, let's go to the Wise Heart Right. We make it right. Call Kyle Wright hotline. This became a dark horse team. Who's the bigger dark horse, Minnesota or Philadelphia?
I think it's Minnesota.
Okay, well, still Philadelphia was a dark horse team. Mike Sealski joins us. He is from the Philadelphia Inquirer as well as Sports Radio WIP in Philadelphia. Mike, good morning to you.
Morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Tell me why LeBron's going to Philadelphia, not Cleveland or Miami.
Because if he goes to Philadelphia, he will be a god forever if he helps the Sixers win their first championship since 1983. That's really what this comes down to.
Bigger than Moses Malone?
Yeah, I think so. Because there are so few people. As great as Moses was in 83, there are going to be fewer people who remember what he did in 83. It's kind of, it's a sepia-toned memory in a lot of people's minds, those who were around. It's been so long ago. And I think people in Philadelphia would be willing to tolerate just about anything from LeBron, the drama, the attention, et cetera, if it meant he could get the Sixers to a championship.
Why do you think Philly has been included in the mix throughout? It's never been a team. I know there's been like one other point in time where they wanted to make a pitch, and then he didn't even show up. But where did this
come from? Back in 2018.
Yeah, where did this really come from?
I think it came from a couple of things. Number one, I think it came with the firing of Daryl Morey and the kind of reassertion of Bob Myers as a major factor within the organization. Now, look, that's not really a shot at Morey as much as I'm making it sound, but the bottom line is Bob Myers is one of the few people in and around the NBA, because of his time with the Warriors, who can look someone like a LeBron or a Joel Embiid in the eye and say, hey, man, I got 4 rings. Here's what we're going to do, and here's how we're going to do it. The Sixers have kind of realigned their philosophy and their front office that way. And the second thing is now that the Sixers have made some moves in this offseason. Everybody went into the offseason thinking, oh, my gosh, they have these albatross contracts with Joel Embiid and Paul George. What are they going to do? And they were able to offload the George contract and get Jaylen Brown in return. VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey are, young emerging stars. Maxey really already is one. And so the situation, at least in people's minds here, became a whole lot more attractive to someone like LeBron than it had been, say, 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Mike Sealski joining us from the Philadelphia Inquirer and Sports Radio WIP. Can I get a quick, I don't want to do Mount Rushmore, even though it's mid-July and this is the time of year you do it. But, Mike, can you give me 3-4 guys who are legends in Philadelphia sports?
Yeah, well, it depends what sport you're talking about.
All of them. Mix them all together if you can.
Oh, God. Okay, let's see. Well, Mike Schmidt from the Phillies, I think, it's a push with the Eagles if we're looking totally modern. You could say Reggie White. You could say Brian Dawkins. You could say Jason Kelsey. Flyers-wise, ice hockey-wise, you got Bobby Clark and Bernie Parent. It's been a long time since somebody's cracked those two. Mm-hmm. And then with the Sixers, Will Chamberlain, Allen Iverson, Julius Erving, obviously, Charles Barkley, probably a little rung below them. So, we're lucky here. Philly and Cleveland are kind of sister cities in this regard. We've been around a long time. We have a pretty rich and sometimes kind of despair-filled sports history, but, we do have some legends to brag about.
Well, there's a reason I asked that. If LeBron won a championship, you said he'd be a god in Philadelphia if he won a championship. Does he go to the top of that list in Philadelphia sports if he wins?
No, I don't think he goes to the top. I think he would occupy a similar place, not exactly the same, but similar to the one that Nick Foles occupies in everybody's minds here. If you remember that Super Bowl back in 2017, 2018, Foles comes in as the backup quarterback and goes on this great run, beats Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in Super Bowl 52. There's a statue of Foles here in Philadelphia. And I think if LeBron came here and the Sixers actually won, then people would look at him and say, similar to the reference you guys made earlier to Moses Malone. Moses doesn't get thought of initially in that same sort of tier as Doc and Allen Iverson and Wilt, but he is revered here for helping the Sixers win that 83 championship.
I'm not trying to start a fight with you here because I just met you here, okay? But this is what you have now become the team I really do not want him to go to. Because,
why is that?
Well, because, okay, we had James Jackson on from Miami yesterday, and I asked him about the best Heat, the most beloved Heat players of all time. He named 3, and LeBron wasn't even in the discussion. And he just left the Lakers. We did 12 guys from Laker fans interacting with us who were it's just after he left, so this is probably new, and they're probably a little emotional over this. But there were 12 guys as more beloved Lakers before LeBron. He's one-on-one here. We have beloved players here. Jim Brown, Otto Graham, the whole thing. Jose Ramirez, he's in there with this fan base, championship or not. And I just don't want to have to share him with anybody else. And Philadelphia is a good sports city, so I'm not trying to be mean-spirited, nasty, not trying to do some wacky radio thing or anything like that. I'm just saying, you have found a team. I have found a team that cares about sports as deeply as we do, going, I can't allow him to go to Philadelphia. He goes to Philadelphia, you guys win a championship. It's just another team I have to share him with, and I can't do that, Mike. I'm sorry.
I totally identify and empathize with where you're coming from. I would say this. He would still mean so much more to Cleveland than he would Philadelphia. I think people, to be very honest, I think if he were to come to Philadelphia and the Sixers were to somehow win a championship, unless he is doing what he did back in 2016 in the finals and going for 40 and 15 every single night, I think people here would honestly be more inclined to look at someone like a Maxey or even a VJ Edgecombe as a reason why the Sixers had won. Obviously it would depend on how it all played out, but Maxey is beloved here for the way he plays and for his personality and his accessibility, and it didn't take long for Edgecombe to reach a similar level of affection. I also think that if Joel Embiid is still here, there's going to be a segment of the population that feels really good for Embiid. He had suffered so much with injuries and, bad teammates, et cetera, et cetera. So the wealth would be spread. You don't have anything to worry about in Cleveland about us, elevating LeBron to the same level that you guys have, Matt.
Are people in Philly now denouncing the analytical movement thanks to, one, getting rid of Daryl Morey, and then, second, bringing in Jaylen Brown?
I don't know that they're denouncing the movement. I think they're just more optimistic that this sort of plan or attempt at a plan will work where the others didn't. The thing you guys have to understand about the Sixers is that they haven't had an identity as a franchise, as an organization, as a team in forever. And the whole process was characterized mostly by the fact that they just they threw stuff at the wall and see what stuck. We're going to break it all down and build it back up again. And we've got Embiid. And how do we build around Embiid? Let's draft Ben Simmons. Let's draft Markelle Fultz. Let's try to go with bully ball by signing Al Horford. Let's create the greatest starting five in the NBA with Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler and J.J. Redick. Let's pick and roll teams to death with James Harden and Embiid. And it's guys, you're just trying stuff. What do you believe in? What is the core of the organization? And I think Myers' credibility and experience in that regard is kind of shifting them in a different direction, and that's why people are optimistic now. And I'm not sure it's so much the rejection of analytics, because people around here were happy to give analytics a try because nothing else had worked.
I'm just curious, what's the pecking order in your city, especially with the All-Star game there right now?
Right now, when there's nothing but baseball, Philadelphia is an amazing baseball town. And even when the Eagles are going, come September and October, Philadelphia is an amazing baseball town. But the Eagles are clearly the top team in terms of popularity and interest. Everything I write on Inquirer.com about the Eagles gets read more than anything else. The Phillies are a clear second. And right now, honestly, before the Sixers acquired Jaylen Brown, it was kind of neck and neck around here between them and the Flyers. The Flyers have been a dormant organization for more than a decade. They got into the playoffs this year for the first time in a while. They won a round. And there is a really hardcore hockey fan base here. But now that the Sixers have gotten Brown and things are feeling, the atmosphere around them is better, they've probably overtaken the Flyers again.
Mike Sealski joins us on the show. All right, where do you think he actually goes?
I would be surprised if he came to Philly. It just seems to me, and I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, and I have no inside information. It seems to me Cleveland is the place he ought to end his career. And for your guys' sake and for his sake, I hope he kind of recognizes that. I know they had the big three in Miami, and I know he won that bubble championship with the Lakers, but man, he deserves to walk off the court for the final time, with the Cavs.
Mike, we thank you very much for the time. This was very illuminating, and I mean that. Love it. Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll talk to you. When do we play the Eagles? Do we play the Eagles again this year?
I don't think the Browns are on the Eagles' schedule. They played them a couple of years ago, the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
That's right.
It was the game where Nick Sirianni started, yelling at fans in the stands. It was kind of the turning point of that season. Yeah, he needed to wise up, and he did after that, and they went on that incredible run.
That's right, because I know he was at a different place, but Kincaid was like, he's getting fired if he loses to you guys this week, and then they won the Super Bowl after. We were the slump buster that year. All right, Mike, thank you so much for the time, friend.
Thanks, guys.
Mike Sealski. He is from the Philadelphia Inquirer and Sports Radio WIP in Philadelphia. I have a new public enemy for the Cleveland Cavaliers and for getting LeBron James. I have a new enemy. I have to admit it. It's the Philadelphia 76ers, and I know what he just answered. I'm still going to tell you why I don't believe him coming up in 5 minutes on The Fan. Window Nation at windownation.com. You got to believe this. There's been a lot of hearsay and a lot of what have yous, a lot of ins, out, what have yous. Complicated case here, friends. But when it comes to Window Nation, there's nothing that's complicated. No, it's straight there for you. The value, the service, the type of great saving.
maintenance, their team has you covered. Great brands, trusted service, and convenient locations. Book your appointment today at ConsumerTire.com. Your local tire and auto service experts.
Don't be that guy who missed the biggest Cavs news during the offseason. Hear the latest during our exclusive 2020 reports. Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
I got a new enemy. It's all because of what Mike Sealski said. He's from the Philadelphia Inquirer as well as a host on Sports Radio WIP in Philadelphia. He said LeBron, do we have this clip? He said LeBron would be a god in Philadelphia. And I asked him, like, who's on the, I don't want to say who's on the Mount Rushmore. I know what time of year it is, so it's perfect for Summer Hack Radio. But when he says this.
If he goes to Philadelphia, he will be a god forever if he helps the Sixers win their first championship since 1983. That's really what this comes down to.
I don't even want to risk it. I don't even want to risk him not being in the same category as some of the names he mentioned. I mean, he mentioned Brian Dawkins, Kelsey, Reggie White. I think Bednarik would be in there for a different generation. Mike Schmidt. I mean, these are big names. AI, Wilt, Barkley. I didn't even get a chance to write down the hockey names that he wrote down.
I was going to say Eric Lindros.
These are huge names there. Huge names. And their history, I mean, they've been a tortured fan base. Not as much as us. I'm not trying to have a race to the bottom here when it comes to sports fandom, but they've been a tortured fan base in their own right with all four of their major sports. I don't even want to risk it. I don't want to risk it because to me, he's ours. So if he goes to Miami, it's like, all right, he's partly theirs, fine. It's just some of these things, it just doesn't make sense. Philadelphia doesn't seem to ever have been in the mix. So if we're talking about happiness, I'm sure I could move to Philadelphia and be happy at a different point in my life.
Yeah.
Is he going to be moving to Philadelphia and happy for a year? Because Philadelphia, as I've been told by Philadelphians, not John Calavita, by the way, but Philadelphians, they've called it a bigger, meaner Cleveland. So if you're going to move to Philadelphia and the roster is not the same, but I would still put your chances somewhere in the same ballpark, even with Jaylen Brown, who I love as a basketball player. But if you're going to move to a cold weather northern city that's in the Eastern time zone, you might as well just move to Cleveland. Same chances, it's home. All the things that people would say, really? It's second nature to you. So all the things that, this is the Midwest thing. All the things that some people from outside of the Midwest, I know the Philadelphia is in the Midwest, but I'm going to compare the weather and things like that. All the things that you would consider a hindrance to you is just part of life here. And it's what makes you comfortable here. And I'm sure it's that way in other cities. Like, I remember I brought up when I went to Seattle, I thought that the traffic situation was ridiculous for the amount of people they have. Like, we have 2 extra lanes of traffic here in Cleveland, Ohio, and we have half the people that they do. And they have 2 less lanes, and they have double the. I go, this is ridiculous. Well, they know how to get around there. I don't. Okay, I just rode around in Ubers and things like that. Miami, that city is blown up like crazy. To me, But if you're a native Floridian, a person from Miami, it's second nature. And I'm sure there's things here that outsiders who, when they first move here, wouldn't like about Cleveland, and to us, it's second nature. And so for LeBron, it's like, just come back home. If you're going to go to a cold weather city, you might as well just come back home. Like Minnesota, I'm sure it's Owen's the only one of us who've been there. He says it's nice up there. They seem to be nice people. But it's not the same. If you're going to be cold, you might as well be cold at home and have just as good a chance to win with this team. I mean, good God. Now I'm getting a little frustrated because I'm like, this is a good basketball team. Like, we probably have to move on from Jared Allen, which would hurt a little bit, but you're still a really good basketball team. Why, if you're going to move to a cold city, you would come here? You're from here. And this completes the tale. You could use your entire documentary, like you've already done it to a degree a little bit, but the whole season could be like a CBS Sunday morning profile. You know what I'm talking about. When they walk down the street of their childhood streets and they look at their childhood home and they knock on the door and talk to the person who lives there and all the other stuff. You can do part of that in every episode of the documentary. You can't do that in Philly.
No, it's definitely not the same. And I would also say what's interesting about kind of sizing these things up, and look, wherever he ends up going, if that team wins a championship, there is a storybook tale there. Like, he's the last piece of the puzzle, whatever. But you know for a fact, if he goes to Miami and wins a championship, well, Giannis has been a top 3 or 4 player basically every year. And Giannis is still going to be the guy like that got everything in motion. All right, in Golden State, it's Steph. And in many places in this country, Steph is more popular than LeBron. So you know the Steph stuff, it's going to be, all right, LeBron ring chased or whatever. They had a fun debate on the afternoon show about the ring chasing.
I wanted to bring that up at 9, to be honest with you, but that's okay.
Then, Philly, well, their key move was obviously going and getting Jaylen Brown, finals MVP from a few years ago. Who knows if Embiid makes it to the finish line, but then Maxey is this budding star. He's probably still going to end up with the highest usage on the team. In Cleveland, I think LeBron will get the most credit of any of the teams if they win a title. LeBron doing it in Cleveland, dragging James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, which is what the narrative will be. It's like these guys could not win in a big way in the postseason until 42-year-old LeBron James comes in year 24. Like, he's going to get the most credit in Cleveland, and don't think that doesn't matter to LeBron James and his legacy.
Let me get to Albert in Maple Heights. Albert, you're next up on the Fan. Yellow.
Yes, hi, sir. Thank you. I have 2 things I'd like to say. Basically, the championship that LeBron helped us win, and we came back from a 3-1 deficit. He's, in my opinion, in the top 3 or 5 greatest NBA basketball players of all time. And I would even say in some ways, and before you respond, I believe that LeBron James is better than Jordan. He could play every position on the court. We need him back here. Like you said, he's a leader. He's a game facilitator. He's like a good court general, and he knows the game. He's also been a student of the game since he was like 8 years old, and he's been playing in the NBA since I was a senior in high school in 2004. I knew he was going to be great when he was on the Sports Illustrated cover. This guy erased a 3-1 series deficit for the Cleveland Cavaliers with the help of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love and Matthew Dellavedova and those guys.
Dante Jones.
And basically, I'll tell you this. If he comes back this year, which I think he will, he should sign a 2-year deal and do a repeat and win 2 championships in a row. And
back to back.
I like him to Albert, I like him to win 2 in a row. I would like him to. Well, obviously we like him to win 2 in a row.
Why stop
I want
at
him
2?
to come back for 2 years.
I want 4.
Yes, keep going. Let's do it.
Pump that number up.
Not 1, but 2,
You guys
but
are
3,
ridiculous.
but 4.
I'd want him to come back for 2
Sasha
years.
Cowan was on that roster.
Give me 2 years.
That's right.
If 1 year you really go for the gusto, the next year's the retirement year. Plus, we could always take his son.
And I tell you, graduated in 2004. I thought he graduated in 1944.
I mean, and you guys say, well, he could barely play for Arizona. I don't give a damn if he could play for Arizona or not. You know the draft picks we threw away? We used number 1 overall on Anthony Bennett. Didn't we?
I liked Anthony Bennett.
Yeah.
I didn't
You
realize
and Chris Grant.
I didn't realize he had emphysema. Couldn't get to sleep at night. Well, he's hooked up to one of those big machines. What do they call this?
An iron lung?
The iron lung. Yeah, he sleeps in the iron lung. Now,
You didn't do your pre-draft prep. You should have known you were drafted the Marlboro Man.
I should have known that when I went to the workout, when I tripped over that big tube. What is this used for? Oh, yeah, he sleeps in that. Now, did you know?
He had all that camel cash.
Did you know that the iron lung, not all of the kids subjected to the iron lung had to live in the iron lung 24/7.
Easy.
Some of them.
Wait a minute, they didn't?
Some of them, actually, a few years later, some of them got to live, can't say a normal life, but got to get outside of the iron lung for a few hours a day.
Are you serious?
The originals, they were just in that thing for life.
How is that
Get in
possible?
their iron car and go to the iron playground.
But
Dude,
the iron lung bleep.
What are you, John Calavita interviewing Travis Mazzano?
Like, if you could, like, what would you tell? Did you think? What would if I told you at the beginning of WBC you were going to be an all-star? What would you have said?
The iron lung breathes for you.
Yes.
You can't just leave the iron lung.
The one dude just passed away last week.
Yeah, he was writing with his mouth.
He wrote with his mouth. Yeah. He got his law degree and did a book. What do you guys do with your life? Watching Shador videos every day?
I know you guys are waiting for me to do the reference. I'm not doing the reference. It's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Yeah, we've wasted picks on Anthony Bennett. You think I care about wasting a pick on Bryce James?
I forgot who we were talking about.
No. I do not care about that.
They don't have a pick until like 2032.
All right, I want to ask the ring chaser thing, but also it's not winning a title that LeBron's needs to consider. It's what if he doesn't? None of you have thought about that. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. I'll tell you why you should in 5 on the Fan.
The Fan from earlier today, get over to 923thefan.com or favorite 923 The Fan on the Odyssey app for all today's headline segments. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 923 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
In your weeknight with the best segments of the day. The Fan Rewind. Weeknights at 11.
Why did he call in?
Who?
Anthony Bennett?
No, that'd be something.
Had to cash in those Marlboro miles.
I didn't know he had emphysema.
I don't think he'd have good connection.
He needs to get your basic telephone. All right. John.
Yes, sir.
Why did you call in now? We told you 9:45.
When did you say that?
That's what our other producer said, who's the senior executive producer of this show.
Nobody said that to me.
John, ask yourself right now, after you hear this.
Like, if you could, like, what would you tell? Did you think? If I told you at the beginning of WBC you were going to be an all-star? What would you have said?
John, ask yourself, am I a 9 o'clock guest on this show?
Oh my God.
Just quick answer, John. No,
yes
no
or
more
no?
talking.
Yes or no?
Yes or no? Are you a 9 o'clock guest on this show?
No.
All right, we'll talk to you at 9:45.
See you later.
There went John, and we'll talk to him at 9:45.
Yes, John is at the All-Star game. He will be covering it tonight for the Fan.
He's credentialed.
As we have 3 All-Stars. Yes, he's a credentialed media member. John, our producer, John. He is who got our last guest, who is Mike Sealski, who was great, by the way. Absolutely great.
And also got the Miami Heat guy that wasn't
the guy
you thought we were getting. But he was still good, too. These are good quality guests. You just didn't know who the hell they were.
Yeah.
That's right. And at 9:45, we'll talk to him about all of that great stuff.
We know who John is. I have a question about the name he has for his girlfriend and his phone that I saw there on Instagram.
We're going to have to wait for him to come back for that one.
It's a little much, a little strong.
If you could, like, what would you tell? Did you think? If I told you?
That was him talking to Travis Bazzana.
I told you, am I a 9 o'clock guest? No.
You can hear that Travis Bazzana interview at 923thefan.com. He talked to Travis Bazzana. He talked to Parker Messick. He also talked to Cade Smith.
He's holding it down.
Guardians are ahead of schedule, by the way. Now, I understand what Jonathan was saying yesterday. I'm not attacking Jonathan. I think he speaks for the outsiders who are looking at Cleveland.
He said nobody takes the Guardians seriously in the playoffs.
And I think the fan base does. I think the front offices do. I just think that the other lineups, I think they probably would have to agree with John.
If this team win a postseason series or even have a deep postseason run, you're going to have to do better than 24th in slugging.
I mean, they haven't been doing better than 24th in slugging, and they've won postseason series the last couple of years.
Yeah, but this is why no one takes them seriously. This is like there's a difference. There's a difference between between winning postseason series and then people acting like there's a juggernaut that's waiting to pounce. And this team is not a juggernaut waiting to pounce right now.
It depends on what you qualify as why people don't take them seriously.
I think the pitching is really good. I love the starting pitching at certain points, by the way. There's parts of the bullpen I enjoy. I think the offense is just too awful right now.
I'm ready to lock it in.
What exactly are you going to lock in?
I'm ready to lock it in because I understand. Listen, I'm not here to say that you're wrong. The first 90 to 92, what are 95?
97, games? I think is what we're at now. 97 games.
The offense has not been consistently good. We are in agreement here.
Okay.
What I'm looking at is the upside of this offense with a healthy Hosey, Quan hitting, Bazzana continuing to.
Did you mention CDL here?
Flow, he's a rookie, but Bazzana continuing to actually be playable. Rocchio being really good, and Lauder really being a good player as well.
Said the whole
I will tell you, by the end of the regular season, I expect them in most, not all, most major categories to be top 20.
Love where your head's at, Nick. I don't know how you can sit there and bag on the Cavs all year long and say you don't take them seriously in the playoffs and then go, oh, but the Guardians. No, you can't do that. Let's stop doing this. Take them both seriously if you want to. That's great. But damn it, you can't sit there and just do it with one and not the other. One team has veterans. One team has been through it many times. This team is a young team. I do think that at one point, hopefully, if things go the right way, I'm not going to bag on Nick the whole time, and I'm not even trying to bag on Nick. I think if they can get the CBA figured out, I think somewhere in 27 or 28 is when you look at this lineup. If Chase DeLauder continues to progress, if Rocchio can stick around, I'm hoping that Stephen Kwan is getting the fuzzies out. We'll find out. I hold some hope there because I do think he got in his own head, and that's part of the reason for the bat speed and all the other things. Pizzana being Pizzana, like all the other things that come together, I do think that they will be considerably more seriously taken by the big lineup teams in the NBA. However, I don't think that the Dodgers would bat an eye. I think we'd be thrilled to be in the World Series. I think that this would be a tremendous managerial job. The future would be bright. I would just be ready to be having my heart broken because the Dodgers are a juggernaut of offense and pitching and everything because they can afford it. You would want to say the same thing about the Yankees. You should say the same thing about the Mets, but they're an utter disaster. And that, to me, they're the example of why money doesn't buy happiness. I'm a happy Guardians fan. They're a good baseball team. They're overachieving, and they ain't spending the money that I'd be sick to my stomach if I was spending $700 million. Not my money, but if my favorite team was spending $700 million on Juan Soto, I'm sick to my stomach over my favorite football team spending $230 million of a quarterback that nobody wants to see. How would I feel about Juan Soto?
Yeah, Mets are 17 games below 500.
And you can't trade that. That's bad. They all hate each other. They're chanting the names of guys there. So it could be worse. So listen, I'm not trying to, this isn't a bag on Guardians thing. I respect where Jonathan is because that's an unpopular thing to say for a team that has won 2 straight division championships, is a good young team that is on the rise, who is overachieving, and I think their best baseball is ahead of them. But what Jonathan said as of July 14th is not false.
Yeah, they would need, I agree with you, they would need Jose to come back and be the best version of Jose that he's been all year.
Yes.
Because obviously he had not been, and I think he would even admit it. Angel Martinez, getting him back, and then, it's tough with rookies. It's tough because...
Gosh, I didn't even mention Angel.
Well, there is such a push and pull for rookies in that league where some guys, immediate success, and the next thing you know, they get sent down. Yeah. Or that dynamic that always happens where the pitchers, they start to get a read on you. I mean, that happened with DeLauder and his power. That obviously the pitching started to get a book on him. And now here he is. He's firing back. He's got a counterpunch.
Yeah.
That's exciting, especially when you're dealing with talented players who, we've had such trouble developing youngsters. Well, when you draft guys as high as like Pizzana, the talent's already there. You just got to see how they react to it as well.
Yeah, you're right.
So in a weird way, it's like I think they could have, especially with the deadline move potentially, the ceiling might be a little higher with the lineup. It just sucks. The numbers are the numbers. Like they're one of the worst offenses in baseball right now. And if that doesn't change, then Jonathan is going to be 1,000% right.
Well, because you put too much pressure on a young staff. Like I can only ask. I'm asking everything I can at Joey Cantillo. I didn't plan on talking Guardians here, but LeBron ain't going anywhere. I have a theory on that coming up at 9:20 that makes actual sense here. I know we're doing a lot of bopping around the dial here, but I got to get this figured out here about LeBron because I think people are focused on the wrong thing. Let me just say this. Cantillo, you're asking a lot of him, and he's paid it back in spades. I think he's having a wonderful season. Ciccone. Okay? I think that I really think that there's a fifth guy, nameless gray face. I have a lot of respect for Cantillo, like I said. I think Parker Messick's an ace in training. I think Gavin Williams can be an ace. I think he obviously has ace tendencies. That outing he had earlier this week when they needed it so bad, and he went 7 right off the rip and did as well as he could. Then they brought in Gaddis and Cade Smith. I mean, he struck out 11 during that. They needed to stop the bleeding. They did that. I mean, that's big boy stuff right there. I think Tanner Bibby's a 2 or a 3 on a really competitive baseball team. And I think with what you just said about that lineup, they got to continue to progress. We have to cross our fingers. We have to hope that there's a cap and a floor. There's a lot of things we have to hope for. I think their best years are ahead of them. That's why I hope that we're not beating up on Jonathan for basically telling the truth, because you're still, to us, it's old hat. To them, they're still new. Travis Pizzana was not part of last year's team that came back from 15 down. He wasn't part of the 23 team, like now 24 team. Like he wasn't part of those organizations. And neither was DeLauder. Neither Angel Martinez spent a cup of coffee. Like there's not a whole lot of experience here other than Jose. So for us, who are in our 40s and 50s and 60s. We've been around, we've seen it, and people are acting frustrated over it. Yeah, but these are all new guys. So while they've kept that standard up, see, this is how difficult it is, and this is how it shows you just how much Jose Ramirez is great. Let me make a wild comparison here. Last year, the bottom kind of finally fell through when it came to the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes got hurt. They've been drafting at the back end of the draft for a long time. He was the only guy keeping them afloat. We are begging Jose. We're begging Father Time and the injuries to stave off, bring Jose back, give us a chance to do it. He's keeping us afloat almost the same way that Mahomes kept the Kansas City Chiefs afloat. Difference is 3 Super Bowls, obviously. One can't play football. 3 championships, for crying out loud. That's a fantastic thing. But that shows you how hard baseball is and what Jose has to do because you're dealing with pups. So you're going through your roster transition, the same thing a franchise quarterback would have to go through. And he's able to keep the Guardians afloat just like Mahomes has been able to. I mean, he's our franchise quarterback playing baseball. And there's obviously so much respect for Jose Ramirez. But the organization, while we trust the organization to the point where we become frustrated for them because they play well enough just to make us upset again. And we can't just forget about the Guardians halfway through the year like Pirates fans have historically been able to and other ones. While we've been frustrated, we have to see what has been put here. And what has been put here is a good foundation for success all around an all-time legend who we'll build a statue for. And no, that ain't no LeBron James conversation. That's a Jose Ramirez conversation. LeBron will get his, and so will Jose. See, it's difficult to have these big-time talks about this because you want damning evidence one way or the other, whether they're going the right way or the wrong way, especially when it comes to sports. No, they are who they are, and who they are is a good young team that, because of what they did to overachieve over the last couple of years, it's almost set up for them to disappoint this season. Because you've won the division now 2 straight years. You had that great comeback last year. If you don't win the division, if you just make the playoffs, to the general fan, it might be seen as a disappointment. It's not. And then if I say it's not a disappointment, well, then I'm just a yes man for the Cleveland Guardians. I'm just with you, Anthony Dolan.
Hey,
it's a tough spot to be in.
Come on over. This would be 8 times in 11 years, and boy, would it be nice if they could plop Jose Ramirez, healthy Jose Ramirez, back and right into that lineup. It'd make a world of a difference.
So I wanted to say this at 9:02. I'm going to tell you guys this at 9:22. I absolutely promise you. It's not winning a title that LeBron needs to consider. It's what if he doesn't? Ken Carman, Tone Master General on The Fan.
It's all about the deal.
rookie Travis Bazzana at second base. Listen to The Fan Rewind weeknights 11 to midnight. All the best segments from all our shows, and can always listen on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
John Colavita going to join us coming up at 9:45. He is our producer. He is in Philadelphia for the All-Star game. He was there for Home Run Derby yesterday. He was there for the player interviews yesterday, the player availability yesterday. He was asking questions. He was, I would say, Charles Corral.
Like, if you could, like, what would you tell? Did you think? What would if I told you at the beginning of WBC that you were going to be an All-Star? What would you have said?
Hear more of him coming up at 9:45. I think we're focusing on the wrong thing a little bit when it comes to LeBron. And I know that sounds like the most general thing ever. Like, okay, you're going to tell us something different. I really do, and this is why. We had Mike Sealski on today. We had James Jackson on yesterday. One from Philly, one from Miami. You brought this up. Winning a championship. What does a championship mean? LeBron can't think... He will think about winning a championship. He's a competitor. He wants to win. I think, though, he needs to also consider, and he needs to heavily consider, what if he doesn't win a championship? If you don't win, if you go to Philadelphia, because it's going to be hard to win a title this year. If you go to Philadelphia and you don't win it, you're just a footnote in the history. You become Shaquille O'Neal at the end with Cleveland.
Year.
It's a forgettable type of thing. And it honestly is weird. I hope somebody with him is listening. I think he probably has already made his decision. But if we're appealing to nostalgia or anything and legacy, let me say this. You got to protect against if you don't win it. If you don't win a championship in Golden State, you look like a ring chaser. If you don't win a championship in Philadelphia, it's this year that exists. If you don't win a championship in Minnesota, same thing. If you don't win a championship in Miami, I'll grant you this. There is a history there. You won 2 championships there. You should be proud of those 2 championships that you won. You changed the league forever. You have created more wealth and more opportunity for players than anybody could have realized there. And while I know the general fan might hate hearing me say that, you've done a lot for players in your generation and future generations, and he should honestly be proud of that. Sports is the only thing we root for the billionaires in. If you come to Cleveland and you don't win a title, which they've won 1 title since 1970, their inception, it's still a tremendous end to a tremendous career. If you bow out in the Eastern Conference Finals or even bow out in the second round, it's still a tremendous end to a tremendous career. It is still a fairy tale ending as best unless something terrible happens, and nobody wants that with an injury or anything like that. It's still a tremendous ending. And still a great cap to a great career that in 30 years, honestly, you guys can go into the second round and, they went to the second round, they lost to Indiana. That's not the story. It's that he did his last year, he did his retirement year, back where it all started. And I know that there's a history with that team, but we go through ebbs and flows with each other all the time. We all love each other, but we might not always like each other, and I'm sure it's the same thing with LeBron. I think you got to consider that. And that, to me, is why it's like he really, to me, shouldn't be considering any other team.
The ring-chasing thing is really interesting because...
I know what I just said, and that's a very strong thing to say.
Well, there's no doubt the people that don't like LeBron, they will criticize all the moves that he makes. They've been criticizing his moves
already
for 20 years.
Yeah.
They've been criticizing his moves. And they've been finding ways to tweak him. And I've been a LeBron criticizer before. Those 4 years in Miami, I think I hated him more than any player in any sport, which sounds ridiculous now after the stuff you've heard me say, and probably would have sounded ridiculous if you would have went way back in time and heard young Anthony. But, like many of people in Northeast Ohio or Cleveland transplants, beyond, we were all so hurt by him leaving that we said a lot of things. And then, he came back and he won a championship. And I'm not even going to say he won it for us. It had the effect that we got to share in it and enjoy it. But no, I mean, let's be honest. Probably first and foremost, won it for himself, and it made sense at that time to come back to Cleveland. all that is to say, like the ring chasing thing, he's at the end of his career. We've talked about like where he is in the pecking order. I think the Ringer had him as a top 20 player in the league, but that's just one place. Yeah. You know, after all this time, clearly cannot be the best player on your team or anything like that. He was good enough as the best player on his team to beat a wounded Houston Rockets team last year in a series. Still, I thought that was incredible feat. He was the best player on the floor.
Yeah.
So the ring chasing part of this, like, whatever. If that's what he wants to do, I am not going to dock him for that.
Well, I got to look at the history of it. Unless you really just hate LeBron. And there are haters who are, again, I don't know if they're listening right now just because of, we've been talking about LeBron for 2 weeks here in Cleveland and really in media. If you really hate him, there's nothing I can say that's really going to change your mind. And we've had a couple of haters call in here, but it's been pretty quiet recently, especially over the last week. Nothing's going to change your mind. You're always going to call him a ring chaser. Who was it who mentioned at the end, was it in an interview yesterday of the side-by-side of Akeem Olajuwon playing against Patrick Ewing, and one's wearing an Orlando Magic jersey and the other one's wearing a Raptors jersey? I don't remember those years.
No.
And nobody will remember the year if he goes to Golden State, if he goes anywhere else. Like, I don't know if I'm going to put ring chaser there. Now, those guys aren't up for the argument of greatest basketball player who ever lived, and they don't breathe the argument every single day like we basically do with him and Michael Jordan. Careers weren't built off their arguments over those guys. Michael and LeBron's argument has built careers for certain guys. Don't take that as a shot if somebody certain on is listening. That's not what I meant by that. I meant others. I think, though, that you do have to strongly consider the odds of winning a championship with any of these teams that seem to be really wanting you. Yeah, you might even have better odds with some. But the odds are you probably won't. It's a tough year. It's a tough league. You got to consider what if you don't. And if you don't, you're still a legend here, and it's still a great story. If you don't, in any of these other places, Miami is still to a lesser degree. But if you don't in one of the 3 other places we're talking about, it's a year that exists. And then honestly, you could be used by their fans as some sort of a reason why not. You could be scapegoated. Oh, these guys, I mean, Philadelphia, it's tough. You could see a Philadelphia fan looking at it going, man, it's tough enough to win a championship as it is. We got to go through this rigmarole every night of somebody handing them off some tchotchke, some trophy of something.
It would be very weird.
It would be weird. And then you don't win a championship. Well, we were distracted all year because of LeBron.
Yeah. Not to mention,
you could hear that.
Not to mention they're infusing Jaylen Brown into this setup with Tyrese Maxey, and then, when is Joel Embiid going to play?
Exactly.
Like, do you see how cumbersome that is?
Yes. But if you come back here, and it sounds like I'm begging him now, I'm not going to be devastated if it doesn't come here. I will be disappointed for all these reasons I'm telling you. Because if you don't win a championship, you're still a legend here. You're still putting a period on a great story. And that's still a story that you can sell when it's all done. I don't know how quickly we turn around these documentaries now anymore. Some of it seems to be weeks at a time. I'm sure if he were to retire at the end of this year, the documentary would probably come out 2028, somewhere in there.
Well, that'd be one episode every week for 5 years.
And you would have it, there would be a lot of episodes there. You would still have the perfect ending. Without a championship, you would still have a perfect ending to it. If you don't have a championship with one of the other places, it just seems to go to this place like, okay, that's the end of your career. You are an all-time legend. Your story is remarkable, but it doesn't have the same type of ending. If you want to put the right period on it, you end up in Cleveland there.
I think so, and I've had this idea in my head, too, that if he comes back for a third time, maybe the potential of not 1, but 2, but 3 LeBron James statues around downtown Cleveland, commemorating 3 different eras.
Oh, wow.
Special eras.
Well, you really thought that out, didn't you?
Each one in their own way. The first one, obviously commemorating the insane, larger-than-life from the lotto to making the playoffs for that first time, the MVP season, just everything he was able to do the second time coming. Like, there's just so much more in the storytelling that would make sense as part of the fabric of his story in Northeast Ohio that just doesn't play in other places.
Do you think, ring chaser, quote unquote, is a demeaning term in his case? Because I think this would be
it's been used against him.
This would be in Miami, though. Things did have to line up. You had to get other people to agree to work with you there.
Sure,
that was a different animal. I could still see ring chasing. You talked about rings the moment you walked on the stage down there. I can't deny any of that. I'm not going to try to do mental gymnastics with it. When he came back to Cleveland, you can't guarantee. Like, they wanted to make moves and do all these things. He went to a team that had potential but was not this great juggernaut team. I can't call it, quote unquote, ring chasing when you're in the middle of your prime, and you had teams. You made the team assemble guys around you to come back,
and every team was chasing you.
Yeah, every team was going after you.
Every team was LeBron chasing.
They traded for Kevin. They traded for Kevin Love. They kept Kyrie Irving. They did not make moves to bring you back and all these other things. When it comes to this year, how can I say it's not ring chasing? And I don't think that that's such a bad thing to say. Where yeah, you're chasing a ring. So is Donovan Mitchell. So is James Harden. Evan Mobley's a little young in his career, but fine, throw him in there too. You never know when you're going back. Wouldn't everybody be ring chasing? You got as many as what LeBron does. If you're in Golden State, you got them falling out of your pockets. They would be ring chasing, bringing him in. One more run with the old men. Minnesota, ring chasing. Miami, ring chasing. Philadelphia, ring chasing. I don't know if that's such a bad thing, considering he's a 42-year-old, going on 42-year-old man halfway through next year. How could you not be, quote unquote, ring chasing? When you're that old, you're not the leader anymore. You can't be the leader anymore. On the floor, anyway, you can't be the driver, the best player, all the given time, every single game like we've seen you in your history.
And it's also weird, like, if he takes a crazy pay cut, like, what is LeBron James worth to these franchises if he finishes his career in Philly, Minnesota, Cleveland, any of the team, Golden State? What is LeBron James worth in the final season? You know how many tens, 20, 30, 50, $100 million to the owner, but yet he's going to play for the mid-level or a veteran minimum? Like, he is taking an all-time discount for what his value is as still a top 20 player, and yet he's going to get criticized?
I think the documentary story is more valuable if he comes back to Cleveland.
By far.
Now, am I just being a homer about that?
No, it is. I mean, it's a fact.
We go to Diane in Brooklyn. You're first up on the Fan. Hello, Diane.
Hi, good morning, guys. I have a few points. I've been listening to you all morning. I don't think I ever heard anybody mention that LeBron's mother still lives here in Akron, Ohio, and I think that's a big factor because I think that she would enjoy having all of her family here. I mean, my school is here. I don't know if anyone's mentioned that. And I think those are two big factors. And as far as a ring chaser, what's wrong with that? Everybody that plays basketball in the NBA is a ring chaser.
Well, the only thing, I mean, we got to be honest with each other here, Diane. The only thing that would be wrong with it is if he didn't choose here, because then that's used as a derogative term.
But I agree with what you said, because I was going to say exactly the same thing. Even so, what if he doesn't win? I mean, I want them to win, but if they don't, so what? Like you said, he still should finish where it started. He still should. He should not retire somewhere else. He should be here where it started. And you took the words right out of my mouth. How could you feel right retiring somewhere else? I wouldn't even feel right. It wouldn't feel right to put on another uniform.
It's odd because
I completely agree with you.
And Diane, thank you so much for the call and obviously for agreeing with me. It means so much because he'd make a lot of money. So it's very difficult to try to pitch story when I know that he's going to make money no matter what. It's LeBron. He's a big deal. But I also think that you tell such a better story. Like if you go somewhere else and you don't win a championship, or you go somewhere else and you don't make it out of the first round or second round or something like that, I think you end your career with a whimper. I think you end your career as a scapegoat by their most ardent fans. I think you end your career as a person who was a transient basketball player and not the icon that you are in. And I will throw Miami in there as well, but it really is in Cleveland. You end your career, even if you don't win a championship, you end your career with a great big exclamation point still here in Cleveland. I can't see things flying off the handle and you having this horrific type of season that is memorable. I can't imagine it. Even if he got injured, God forbid, I can't imagine it being that way. That's as close to a whimper as I would see it be. I'm not going to start to plan towards injury. I have to think about what he's going to be. And if he's healthy, which he probably will be, then that means you're going to probably be a 4 or 5 seed at least. You'll probably make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, at least, with LeBron. And if it were to end in the Eastern Conference Finals, if we went right back to the same place we were and we ended up losing, you still end your career in the best way possible. And to me, that's more marketable than any of the other teams. Will and Medina, you're next up on the Fan. Hello.
Wow, Ken, if you could have stole any more of my thunder, I swear.
Well, damn me.
100%.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Will.
No, I mean, when you look at this from every different angle, you talk about the documentary, and what's the documentary? It's the end of his legacy, right? At least as far as the playing time in the NBA. You look at the Jordan documentary. What was the craziest part was like the emphasis on him coming back as 45, then 23, and then finishing out his career. They don't talk about his time with the Wizards. And then the other aspect is if he comes to Cleveland, and like you said, they don't win, it's still a wrap on his career. It's still greatness. If he goes to Philadelphia or even Golden State, even if he does win in Golden State, what's that going to be compared to the three championships they won before? I just don't think it puts the stamp on his legacy like he wants.
I think that it would be a very personal thing. Well, thank you for the call, because he could brag amongst his peers that he was able to take every team that he went to and transform them into a champion. Did it in Miami, did it in Cleveland, did it in L.A., you say whatever you want to about the bubble title, would do it in Team X. But I just think the odds are against you no matter what team you end up in. It's very hard to win a championship, guys. And I know in Miami it was like, all right, it wasn't a question of if, it was going to be a question of when and how many. Cleveland, it felt like a question of if after the first year because of the injuries that happened with Kyrie and with Kevin Love and because Golden State looked like such a juggernaut. After that, it was really a question of when. This would not be a question of when. This is a question of if because you don't have much time left. Coming up next, John Colavita going to join us live from Philadelphia. He is at the All-Star festivities. He's got boots on the ground talking to the big ones with the Cleveland Guardians, with Travis Bazzana, with Parker Messick, with Cade Smith. The great one, John Colavita, joins us in 5 on the Fan.
Speeding catches up with you.
get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Listen to 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn app.
It's like a whirlwind year for you. You know, you started the year in the minors. Before that, you were in the WBC. Like, if you could, like, what would you tell? Did you think? If I told you at the beginning of the WBC that you were going to be an All-Star, what would you have said?
I would have said it's possible, but I got a lot of things to do before that can happen. You know, like make it to the big leagues, at least start off in Columbus and have success. So it kind of seemed far-fetched, but I would have internally believed that it was possible, I guess.
John Colavita, our producer, with Travis Bazzana in Philadelphia during pre-home run derby activities, the festivities there in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And now joining us on the Wise Heart Right, We Make It Right, Call Kyle Right hotline. Ladies and gentlemen, John Colavita joins us on the show. Hello, John.
Like,
hey, guys.
Like, what would you tell? Did you think? If I told you at the beginning of the WBC that you were going to be an All-Star, what would you have said?
We played this many times.
Hi,
John.
Oh, yeah. What's going on?
How are you enjoying Philadelphia?
It's going nice. I'm standing on my back porch right now overlooking the pond, and then if I turn to my right, I'm overlooking the field.
Your dad has a pond in his backyard?
My grandpa has a pond.
Granddad has a pond?
Congratulations on all your
success. Wow. So you can see the tree farm from where you're at?
Yeah, I'm like 50 feet away from it. I'm 50 feet away from actual trees. You know,
can you bring...
Oh,
no, it'd be dead by the time. I was going to say, can you bring back a Christmas tree? But
how
it's
many,
July.
John, of you and your cousins are fighting over the inheritance?
Yeah.
So it has to go to my dad's siblings first, and I don't think my uncle wants it. My dad definitely wants to run it, but I don't think my aunt is going to let him take all of the profits.
What a Grinch.
That was a very detailed answer.
Yes,
I didn't expect us to get.
He has
yes,
thought
he
a
has
lot
thought
about
this.
and that's why he's trying the sports talk radio thing. Either that or, maybe the lumberjack games.
Is your dad ready to lawyer up?
Oh, guys, it's not going to get to that.
Oh, probate court. I mean, you know how many lawyers just heard that in Northeast Ohio, and they're gonna DM me and go, give him my number.
You guys are going to have to do the log rolling thing to see who wins the Christmas tree farm. It's going to be a wild time. So you talked to Travis Bazzana yesterday. How'd that go?
He's awesome. Like, he was super nice. Like, all the Guardians were super nice. Like, I think that's just what Cleveland is. I think that's what the Cleveland Guardians are. They're just chill guys who just want to go out there and play baseball. And it was honestly super easy to get to all of them. They were kind of farther back on the panels, I guess, because everybody had their own little table to talk to. Like Ohtani was mobbed, Ohtani wasn't there. It was Yamamoto was mobbed, Trout was mobbed, Verlander was mobbed. The guys were all super nice. I got like 2 minutes alone with each of them. It was cool.
That's good. Did you learn anything about Travis Bazzana that you didn't know already?
I learned that he loves Wendy's. I did not know that. Like, obviously, we've talked about the World Cup and how the foreigners are loving certain random parts of America that we wouldn't think about. It was really cool. He just wants to go to Wendy's and get a Frosty.
They don't have Wendy's in Australia?
I guess not.
Interesting.
Did you tell him about dipping French fries in the Frosty?
Did you tell him that? Yes.
No, I did not.
Why didn't you tell him that?
Because I don't do that.
Did you know about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just weren't going to tell him about things that a lot of Americans do just because you don't do it?
Just didn't cross my mind. I was very baseball centric because Gab Gowdy was right next to me asking him about LeBron.
Oh, okay. And whether or not he thought LeBron was coming back?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing today?
Today I'm meeting my cousin who is a ball girl for the Phillies. We're going to get cheesesteaks at Tony Luke's, and I'll probably get into the stadium around 3 o'clock and see who's around, see what's going on.
Are you working or are we just assing off out here? Because it seemed like you were working yesterday. You did a good job there, John.
Well, I mean, today I might be assing off a little bit just because, like, I'm not writing anything. There's not going to be really media availability today.
We can change that.
John, do you realize how special this is? Maybe you're too young to be able to take it all in, but what an incredible moment. You're in your hometown. The best in the baseball world are all going to be right there in front of you. You've got fans traveling in from all over the country, and you just get to be there for free.
No, that was amazing. Like, yesterday was one of the best days of my life. I was hanging out. Like, I talked to Jeff Passan. Like, when I was getting
He didn't blow you off, huh?
No, I was talking to Jeff Passan,
Wow.
hanging out with him.
He's changed.
All the John Boy guys were right there. when I was getting my credentials. So I was talking with Chris Rose a little bit, and then I was talking to some WIP guys.
Is he
that
just
I knew.
networking, trying to get a better job?
He is. Yeah, I think he should be. Honestly,
You got
why
irons
wouldn't
in
he?
the fire?
Get him come on the show before you do that.
Why wouldn't he be? Yeah, you got to do two things at once there, John. You got to get him to come on the show, and then you got to try to get a better job.
Okay. I mean, what do you think I was doing on Saturday? I mean, Lima had to tell me to stop.
Trying to get a better job.
Texting everyone in the NBA Black Book.
Exactly, and it worked.
Good point. John.
Is there any LeBron buzz whatsoever?
Yeah, what are they talking about over there with LeBron?
My uncle used to be a Sixers season ticket holder, and he says if they get LeBron, he's calling up right away. So I don't think that anybody here actually thinks that we're going to get LeBron.
Why doesn't he try to get tickets now? Because if they get LeBron, he's going to spend considerably more.
Spending the inheritance.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know. I don't know why he doesn't try to get him now. I think he's just frustrated. Like I told you guys before, there's a malaise among Sixers fans because they were terrible this entire century, and then they got good with Joel Embiid, and they still can't get over the hump.
Have they put a pause on buying season tickets? Because I think what Lima told me is that in certain areas of the arena, or maybe the entire arena right now, there's a pause on ticket sales, season ticket sales for the Cavs.
Confirmed, by the way.
That is confirmed?
Confirmed.
What did John, what did you say there? I'm sorry. It broke up.
That's really cool. No, I did not. They put a pause on season tickets. I don't think they put a pause for the Sixers. But I don't think anybody actually thinks it's going to happen. It'd just be really cool if it did, because this happened 8 years ago. There was a minor league baseball team, the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, that literally won an award for their campaign. Lehigh Valley wants LeBron because the Sixers were going for it, and the minor league baseball team was just like, "Oh, let's hop on."
What was the award for?
Best marketing strategy, I think.
Who gave out the award?
MILB.com or something.
Oh, that's fun. John, you're there for a week, right?
Yep.
Are you with your girlfriend?
Not today. She's in New York today because she's seeing Gracie Abrams. But yeah, I've been with her the last couple of days.
Is she with the platonic male friend?
No, she doesn't have any male friends.
Oh. I can't say what you say on the air. I can't say what you call her on the air. I don't think it's appropriate, even though it's your girlfriend. The hot B word, Logan, is the name you have for your girlfriend on your phone?
Yes.
Why would you do all that?
First of all, she loves it. She thinks it's hilarious. And
where did that conversation start where that was the nickname?
Well, that's what I put her in when I first met her, and then I'm just too lazy to change it. But she thinks it's fun.
That's what you put in when you first met the lady?
Yeah.
So you were calling her that word before you even really knew her?
Yeah, sure.
What type of idiot are you? What generation is this?
One with a very hot girlfriend.
What generation is this?
As a female, I'm astounded.
You don't have to say
it. Now Mackenzie's in it. Thank God.
This is
somebody.
unreal.
Yeah, this is unbelievable to me. I mean, Mackenzie's right. John's 24. Mackenzie, how old are you?
I'm 26.
If you found out a guy put hot B word Mackenzie in there on his phone, what would you think?
That's like a conversation I have early. Do not use names with me.
Where's the respect?
Yes.
That's crazy.
She likes it.
But everything's a joke to this generation.
Yeah,
It's very sad.
God, I'd hope so. I really hope you two make it. I think you're doing everything in your power to make sure you don't make it, considering you're going to see totally quote-unquote platonic friends down in Miami.
Yeah, what do you
whatever.
what do you have the platonic friend in your phone as?
Taylor.
Do you believe that, Kenny?
No. Do you guys like how he brought up Gab Goody, too?
Yeah, well, he had to throw it. He's networking in more ways than one, apparently.
Oh, you have the name in there without even the last name? That means you have a special relationship.
Okay.
Does it or does it not? Hey,
you guys just trying to start something.
No, every now and then, I'm telling you right now, other than my wife, every woman in my phone has her first and last name.
Okay.
Fact,
John?
I have my wife's first and maiden last name.
Yeah, he's got the maiden name. He wants to give it back to her soon.
She's got to pass the probationary period.
All right, John, we hope you have a wonderful time in Philadelphia.
Can you guys not wake me up tomorrow morning? This is back-to-back days.
All right, you gonna make? Hey, did you get invited to any after hours?
No, I'm not getting.
No parties tonight. It's the All-Star game.
Yeah, and I'm gonna probably be there till 1 a.m. I got home at like 1:30 last night.
And why do you think they call it after hours?
I am tired, so I'm not doing that.
Okay.
It's not gonna happen.
John, goodbye.
Ways to combat that.
Get him off the phone. Get him off the phone. He's done. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing. Yeah, I'm looking through they're all with first and last names.
What an opportunity of a lifetime. Do you have any people would do anything to go to the All-Star game?
Yeah.
And he's just willy-nilly showing up.
Well, some of these people on my phone are dead. Well, you think that I had a lot of Facebook friends who have passed away. You should see my phone. Lord. Okay. Thanks to Mike Sealski, who joined us today. He was outstanding. Really outstanding. I'd never spoken to the guy before. He was outstanding from Philadelphia.
Do you think we get a LeBron announcement today?
No, we will get it on Thursday, like you said. Thursday or Friday at Fanatics Fest. Be a good time.
And how does the Goodyear blimp figure into all of this?
2-second trivia.
It saw the big boy yesterday.
Tomorrow. 2-second trivia tomorrow. Your chance to eat free Mr. Hero. We're back tomorrow 6 to 10 for Owen. Almost forgot his name there. For Jeff. For Mackenzie. For the Slippery Wizard Anthony Lima. For John. He joined us from Philadelphia. I'm Ken Carman. Have a wonderful day, my friends.
Thank you for paying attention and making sure that you're not booing, but you clap.
Like, if you could, like, what would you tell? Did you